All right. The time is 6:40. I'm going to call our meeting to order. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Wright?
Here.
Mr. Banonis?
Here.
Mr. Ferrucci?
Here.
Ms. Alcantara? Here. Ms. DeLeon? Here. Also present is myself, Stacy Wertheiser, Township Manager Mr. Finnegan, Township Engineer Brian Cucker, and Zoning Officer Tyler Mitch, and our Solicitor Mr. Gazizian.
Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Okay, can you rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Please stand for the flag of the United States of
America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Please stand.
Okay, so I'm going to announce that we did meet in executive session. That's why we had a little bit of a late start here. And Steve's going to review the items, the various items that we discussed.
There were 3 separate real estate matters that were discussed. Council gave direction to the solicitor as to how to proceed in each of them. No official action was taken. There was also an employee personnel matter that was discussed. No official action was taken.
Okay. And for the public comment procedure, we have a separate times when the public may speak during the meeting. First one, actually for both of them, there's a 3-minute time limit. You come up to the podium in the center of the room there and speak. If multiple people want to speak, if you can line up when the first person's finishing up so that it moves along smoothly, that would be helpful. Direct your comments to the council up here, and it's not a Q&A session, it's just your comment period. We have no presentations or hearings, and our first item that we will be starting with is 4A, developer item. Well, it doesn't have one. Is the agenda? Okay, sorry. Public comment, sorry about that. And maybe this would be for any of the agenda items.
Is it on?
Okay.
All right, my name is Drew Banonis. I'm here to comment on agenda item E, a discussion of possibly removing Russell Sutton from the EAC. I'm on the EAC, and I want to comment on Mr. Sutton's contributions to the EAC. He's an associate member of the committee and a member of the Open Space Subcommittee. Mr. Sutton's an active and dedicated member of the EAC. He attends all the meetings, he shows up to and contributes to our efforts outside of the regular meetings, including roadside cleanups, meetings of countywide EAC committees, scoring open space sites, and our sponsored events such as recycling events. When one of our members had to step aside temporarily for health reasons, Russell stepped in as our representative on the County Climate Action Plan Committee. He attends those meetings and reports back to EAC. I know that one of the issues that you'll hear about tonight is Mr. Sutton's removal of dead and dying ash trees on his property, thanks to the scourge of the emerald ash borer, in order to place solar panels on his property and reduce his carbon footprint. I believe the other ordinance-related allegations relate to the solar panel project, which I think is a good one. I can't speak to the details of all of it because I don't know them. Also, Mr. Sutton's was cited Mr. Sutton's anti-landfill stance and activity is cited as a reason for his removal. The landfill is a blight on this township and threatens groundwater and surface water. It has multiple negative atmospheric impacts associated with fugitive gases. It's unsightly. The trucks track soil onto Apple Butter Road. The trash blows out of the trucks into the township. Completely destroys the landscape under its footprint. Any person with an environmental ethos should be anti-landfill. This is especially true of the plan to expand the landfill and destroy 247 acres of land having significant ecological and hydrological value. Russell's been a diligent and contributing member of the EAC. He belongs on the EAC. I urge council to sustain his membership on the EAC. Thank you for your attention.
Is he attending this meeting? Is he here tonight?
And do we have more public comment?
No, he's not. I guess he attends all the meetings, but this one.
Anybody else for agenda items?
All right, I'm Dave Lulan. I'm here to talk about things in general because we only have 3 minutes. By the way, I don't agree with the previous commentator. I think Mr. Sutton has absolutely torched the idea that you have to have certain permits to do certain things, and he knows better because previous to that, there was somebody in here he was complaining about, so shame on him, ought to go. 43 days since the last council meeting, and now it's 34 more days till the next one. Yet we're facing an agenda here that has something like 20 odd items. This is going to be one of these till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I find that really offensive, as a matter of fact. Agenda has been last updated at 5 p.m. on Monday, so we had 2 more items. Not that they were important items to add, they were just the financials for the last 2 months. Only 17 pages for anybody that is interested in good government. No, I'm not running for it. So why are we adding these things at the last minute? That's bad news. That's bad management. 19 items on the agenda, including those important ones. The zoning one is here. It's going to affect everybody in this area. I'm absolutely surprised that more people have not turned out here.
They didn't send a letter out.
I'm sorry, let me finish here and then we can talk. Okay, 19 pages of technical reports, really good, I like that. I like to see the 9 variances that they're requesting to put in 21 families over here on, and I think it's 8 acres, I may be wrong on that, Old Philly rural pipe. A very time-consuming, lengthy hearing with potentially endless things, and yet here it's stuck on this agenda after taking all this time off for gosh only knows what. Don't like that a bit. 12 sets of council meeting minutes, 12 sets of meeting minutes to review, and you're just going to all just approve them. Well, I think some of you will. I know others will not. Taxpayer has 3 minutes, that'd be me, to talk about all of these items. Hey, isn't that great? Shut them down. Don't let the people talk. All right? And yet we were told that the honesty and integrity of the Democrats would allow everybody sufficient time to talk about everything. Not happening. By the way, they don't answer any questions, very rarely do they, to be fair. Important updates, one day before the meeting, and yet we're going to have 43 days between meetings. The Fulton Bank thing is a joke. How do you have something like 15 or 20 accounts, and you have 4 people on it? You have Lynn Hill, you have Opdor Gadera, you have De Leon, and you don't have, for instance, Jay Finnegan, who's independent. You do not have something like your financial services expert on it. You need to have at least 2 or more, or you end up like Hellertown with all their problems. All right. The diligent thing is another question, and that is, why are we spending another $6,000? We still have the board docs. That's more of a question than anything else. Thank you.
Do we have
It's
a?
my understanding
public
they didn't send a letter out to address some of your concerns. It's my understanding they didn't send a letter out to the neighbors here notifying them about the meeting tonight. I talked to one who said he didn't receive a letter about the meeting tonight. They found out about it last minute and cannot attend. There's that. As far as the financials, they obviously release them on Mondays. The Democrats don't want anybody to look at them to really see what this landfill, what closing the landfill would
Okay,
do.
do we have other
So,
public comments?
There's a lot of that stuff going on. They're hiding. They're in bed with Hellertown. We'll talk about
Do we
that
have
later.
public comment?
And
Tom?
but thank you for your comments, Mr. Banonis.
No.
No,
I think it's important everybody knows.
yeah, I agree.
Whatever.
Thank you for speaking.
They won't tell them.
They won't. They try and hide it. Here.
Mark Rose, Michael Lord, Saucon. No, I give the previous 2 people credit on several points. Can't disagree with them, I know that. But my statement goes to removing Russell Sutton from the EAC for his I'm not sure what you want to call it.
Violating zoning laws or regulations? Or township ordinances?
Okay, Tom, this is public comment, not yours.
Just turn off the speaker.
How can I say this? If Mr. Banonis is so concerned about Russell Sutton, but he's unconcerned about his own behavior, because you know he's a liar. You lied in court, you lied to warrant, you lied to the judge, you corrupted the district attorney, you corrupted the township, and you corrupted, Martin. Unless you teamed all in together, so you should be the one removed from council. You should, and you know it.
You're using your time, sir. What are you talking about me? Go ahead. But you can talk about your criminal background, whatever you want to talk about. It's your
My
time.
criminal background,
Remember that guy killed?
my criminal background,
Remember when that guy killed?
back
Tom.
You were drunk?
several years.
It's your clock, sir. I'm not. Whatever you choose to talk about, it's your time. Use it
No,
wisely.
I
Use it
didn't
wisely.
get
My
to go
suggestion, use
through
it
this.
wisely.
I was busy with other things.
It's not your time.
Just tell the gentleman's
I
time.
know the other complaint I got is the new township website needs some doctoring.
Laura's the IT
repairs.
expert out here. She's Miss IT. She knows
You know,
about IT.
Fixing up on items.
They hit their email addresses.
What?
Now you can't get their email addresses.
You gotta fill out a form if you want to email a Democrat.
No,
Transparency, openness.
no. Let me fill in my name here, just in case anybody cares, But you should put in a complaint about yourself and remove yourself from council and do the township a favor.
Yeah, I've done a lot of favors.
That was an enlightening 2 minutes, thank you. 2 minutes, 15 seconds.
Do we have other public
I
comment?
just still have 43 seconds.
Fuck the 43 seconds.
Enlightening, thanks, thank you. We're all stupider for what you said.
Never get that time back.
Anne Marie Slavic, Lower Saucon Township. Nice to see you all.
Good to see you.
Two.
Hope you're having a great summer.
Happy summer.
This is
So I just want to make a comment in reference to Russ Sutton for all the things that were said about him, of him knowing everything that has to do with environmental issues. He really should have known better. That's my comment. It's really an arrogance, that's what it is. It's, I can do whatever I want, and you can't do anything. I think that Victoria had commented on some zoning issues last meeting about the people that want to build the house on their property, that we have rules in this township for a reason. We have standards, don't we? Zoning standards, isn't that what you said?
2 sets.
But I have yet to hear anybody on the Democrat side on council criticize Russ Sutton for what he did. He made a mess. Environmentally speaking, with all we had the flooding a few nights ago from the rains. I can just imagine what the flooding is over there on that property, because the trees aren't there to soak it up.
No, that's a landfill's fault. They'll blame the landfill for it.
Yep, it's always the landfill's
It's always the
fault.
landfill's fault.
What's everybody gonna do when the garbage is laying all over the ground? When people just throw garbage out of their cars? What is everybody gonna do then?
Philadelphia.
I also have an issue with F, reimbursement of insurance deductible to Solicitor Gaduzian. If Solicitor Gaduzian, which is the definition of a solicitor, is to keep the township out of lawsuits, I do believe that's one of his job descriptions. Alleged Sunshine Violation Act. Why are we reimbursing him for his insurance for that? If he committed the violation, allegedly, why are we paying him for that?
Not only that, he's doing other legal work right now on his laptop.
I'm sure he is, because he never pays attention.
But he has been on the
Anyway, I would like to have a
township.
solicitor for this township that actually makes sure that the people on the council don't violate anything that brings us more lawsuits. That would be really great. That's my recommendation. Also, my recommendation would be to just be careful of the way that things look to the outsiders and the citizens of this township in reference to bank accounts that someone's going to be writing checks on, and only one person has to sign a check. We know what's going on in
At
Hellertown.
Hellertown all the time.
We know what's going on in Hellertown.
Here, why have two eyes on the money?
Alexander, dude, all our Democratic friends in Halifax, all Priscilla.
According to the form, it's only one signature. Did you know that?
Broad.
Did you know that, Priscilla?
We have a resolution in the
No,
beginning.
now you won't gavel her, you won't gavel her. Public.
Because the
Why won't
form
you
says
gavel her,
what?
boss?
I'm just going by what the form
Boss, why won't
says.
you gavel her?
So I'm just telling you that's what the form says. So you might want to check your own forms when you
Just pay
fill
your
them out.
taxes, don't worry about it. Just pay your taxes.
When you fill your forms out and you sign a document, make sure you know what's in the document.
One more time, Priscilla.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, thank you. Excellent.
Other public comment?
Overrun on the gavels, 45 and a half, she's already got.
I don't
All right.
take the over.
45
Seeing none, so we're going to move on to developer item 4A, the EDU allocation request for Martin Minor subdivision at 3677 Hickory Hill Road. Anybody here to speak on this? Let's say no?
I can
Laura,
explain
can I
it.
be recognized real quick? Sure.
Thanks. I just, we have our monthly water authority meetings. So, of course, I spoke with them about that yesterday at their monthly public meeting. And there's no issues as it relates to the water authority with respect to the request for the EDUs. They just, the one thing would be conditioned upon getting all of their necessary approvals from the water authority. They're setting up an escrow.
They can't proceed with their planning module until council actually allocates the 4 EDUs.
Yeah.
Okay,
We
so,
put together a draft motion very similar to the last 2 allocations that you approved, and you have that with,
Okay, sure.
with those 5 conditions.
Perfect.
do you want to make the motion, Victoria, then, since you went through?
Hold on, I gotta bring up the motion.
What's the motion again?
I don't have the motion in front of me.
Okay, well,
We want to meet.
motion,
I'll make the motion to approve the allocation of 4 EDUs for the Martin Minor subdivision located at 3677 Hickory Hill Road.
and this would be based upon the conditions
Based upon the 5 conditions.
being met. Okay, I'll second that.
I'd like to hear from Brian.
So do I. Since he is an engineer, and these
Yeah,
guys are not.
I want to hear from a real engineer,
He just gave us
not 3
response.
Democratic plans.
So this subdivision is just across the street, basically from Cherrywood, where we did the paving and the swales last year. And there's a house on it now. They're creating 2 building lots, extending the sewer and water to serve the new lots and I believe the existing homes as well. They're still working out the details. And the subdivision is before the planning commission, has been before the planning commission, and should be in front of council. So there's plenty of capacity. I don't see any issues with allocating it.
And that goes to the map that was created.
Well, it's not specific, the property isn't specifically called out on the map, but in general, that area is supposed to get public sewer.
Right.
Okay, do we have comment from anybody up here on council?
I have a question. So they're going to be connected to public water and public sewer. Will they also be connected to storm water sewers, stormwater management systems? The reason I ask that is because on Hickory Hill Road, oftentimes when you go by at the exit of Pleasant Drive, there's always a lot of standing water in several of the properties that are there that back up to the Woodfield development. And I'm wondering, is this going to be addressed through, and I understand EDUs doesn't pertain necessarily to that, but I'm just wondering, is that also going to be against anyway?
They have designed stormwater management facilities to contain the stormwater that they're going to generate, and they're back and forth between their office and our office now. So that'll be finalized before the council.
Were any residents notified of this, that this would be on the agenda tonight with a letter, Jay? With a letter?
Customarily, EDUs do not get notified to adjoining property owners, and in the last 3 or 4 that I looked at on the board docs, the minutes, the applicant usually doesn't appear. It's based on the engineer's input and the same conditions that are outlined for this individual tonight.
All right, thank you.
So what's going to happen here is 3 new homes, correct?
2.
2 new homes, I'm sorry, 2 new
Right,
homes.
there's one there.
Well, I wonder where that trash is going to go. Where is that trash going to go? To the landfill, or do they keep it on the property? Anybody know that? Maybe Priscilla's house.
Anybody else have any comment on this topic?
No, thank you.
Okay, can we have a roll call?
Ms. Wright?
Yes.
Mr. Banonis?
Yes.
Ms. Altough Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Carucci?
Yes.
Ms. De Leon?
Yes.
It's 5-0.
Unanimous.
5A is the zoning hearing board application for R06-25 for One More Steel City LLC at 3679 Old Philadelphia Pike. It's property ID Q6SW2-3-14. Guess you guys can all introduce yourselves and review this plan since it's been a little bit.
So, Jay, can you clarify if the letter went out to any residents regarding this being on the agenda?
Not that the township would be aware of, and it's.
They need not be aware, I mean, the township either sent one or they didn't. So the township did not send a letter to residents in the old Philadelphia Pike area. I'm not asking you, I'm asking Jay, shut up. So Jay, the township did not send a letter to residents in the old Philadelphia Pike area about this being on the agenda.
No, but it's not a public hearing
So we didn't notify, so that the people aren't here during summer and vacation time is not surprising. And the township did nothing, the Democrats in the majority did nothing to notify
Tom, on
residents.
page
Okay.
5 of the submission, there's a whole page designated toward addresses that were notified.
The people I talked to were not notified.
Page 5.
Before we get started, just so we're clear as to what this is.
This was a zoning hearing board.
It's not for here.
I'm recognizing Steve, so if everybody else could.
Well, she misrepresented what it was. We're not a zoning hearing board. We're not a zoning hearing board, and that's what
So what's before the township
Victoria was
council
talking
right now?
about. That's right, it's not zoning, right?
What's before the township council right now is whether township council wants to provide a recommendation or otherwise to the zoning hearing board. To be clear, when the matter is placed before the zoning hearing board, that is actually a public hearing. Notice then has to be provided in accordance with the rules with regard to the neighboring individuals and to provide them notice. So the applicant will have to comply with that at the appropriate time.
So as I said, there's
When
nothing
this
that
happens,
represented.
when
There's
this
nothing
happens,
that would have
before
prevented
township
it
council,
from.
it is not a public hearing, and therefore, special notice is not sent to neighboring individuals or parcels.
It's not required to be sent, you can send it as a courtesy, which you didn't.
You never did either,
So I think
Tom.
this would be the appropriate time to turn it over to the applicant to
You
provide
do it
for
as a
that.
courtesy.
Steve, may I ask you a question, Steve? Steve, may I ask you a question as the township solicitor?
Please.
So we will have a vote this evening, right, as council, we will be voting on whether to say yea, nay, or no position, correct?
You will have a vote today to indicate what steps, if any, you want to take with regard to the zoning application.
Right, which may be yea, nay, or no position, correct?
Or it could be all sorts of other things.
It could be, I understand that. So the fact that we are going to be taking official public action tonight, and there's been no notice that's been provided to the neighborhood property owners, that's correct?
There's no specific notice, meaning letters aren't sent to them. Notice is provided to the municipality and the neighbors in accordance with the public notice of the agenda items and so on and so forth.
And the
Just like the other items. For example, A, B, C, D, all the way through.
So the notice, are you done? May I speak now? May I ask you a question? So the notice that will be provided to them will be after this council perhaps takes official action, yea, nay, or no position, or something else. And at that point, the council's position will already be stated for the zoning hearing board without the public having the opportunity to comment on this or perhaps influence the votes of township council, their elected officials?
No, the public has the ability to be here. The public has been provided notice, and anyone from the public can, and various individuals from the public came and spoke about agenda items.
So the notice that
No.
So the notice that the public got was noticed through the township's website, which if you want to contact your elected representative, you have to fill out a form to get their email address.
So they got it on Friday.
Right.
So
You got this on Friday.
So the fact of the matter is, the township and the Democrats on the majority here, and the applicant could have insisted that letters be sent to the neighboring residents that would be affected by this with traffic and other things. But they chose not to. They didn't want the public. The Democrats didn't want the public here. The applicant didn't want the public here tonight. And that's why they weren't provided with letters about this being one.
Please show us all the times that you did that in your time here.
It's not customary.
Okay.
No, it's customary, it's not required, it's not required. Right, and you'll do the
It's
bare minimum, We know,
It's
we
not
know.
customary, and
You'll
it's
do the
never
bare
been done by
minimum,
this
Mr.
township.
So
I
we
don't
know.
know why we'd be creating
Okay.
new
Get any
precedent
pictures of that
to
cell
do a
phone
lot
tap.
of other things and jump through hoops. I don't know why we would be doing that. It's not
Okay.
something we've ever
All right,
done.
let's just let the developer get started. Introduce yourselves as you speak so we know who's who and go through.
That definitely was not optional.
Let's.
It goes up.
My apologies. Kate Durso, Fitzpatrick, Winston, Hoover.
I'm Chris Brown, Brown Design Corp.
And I'm Phil Malich with the applicant.
Thank you.
So when we were last here a couple months ago, we had presented as a proposed potential alternative development for the subject property to be townhouses as opposed to garden apartments. We got feedback from council and direction to proceed with that concept plan for submission to the township to get feedback both from Brian's office as related to what relief would be needed, as well as trying to incorporate into the plan a number of the items that we discussed at that meeting. That meeting was putting my notes in February. As a result of that, we have submitted a zoning application that shows townhouses, and I would like Chris to go into a little bit more detail on the proposal.
All right, thank you, Kate. I think we did share a preview at the last meeting, so it really hasn't changed much from the initial concept that we presented. Just a quick recap on the property. It's 8.3 acres, just a little bit greater than that. It's located in the Village Center District. One of the reasons why we keep coming back and trying to refine our project and work with the township is because there's over 5.5 acres of natural resources that basically run right down the middle of the property, which makes, any type of development, whether by right or with some relief, a little bit challenging. So, following the encouragement that we got with regard to the townhouse concept, we studied the township ordinance, and it appeared that the best route to go would be under the cluster development option. And so we used that in the evolution of this design in terms of lot area, density, and the general layout to come up with what we're presenting tonight, and it's part of our zoning application, which is 21 townhomes, attached residential units, situated in accordance with all other requirements that the township dimensionally has enumerated in the application. But it is serviced by 2 private driveways that interface with Old Philadelphia Pike. One of the driveways being situated directly in alignment with the existing driveway to the municipal campus, and the other driveway is specifically situated to be within the prescribed offsets from all other adjacent driveways. So by the nature of the alignment with the campus driveway from the municipal complex, it leaves us a little short in terms of separation with the auxiliary driveway for the township-owned garage across the street, which is already in sort of a non-compliant configuration with the campus driveway. So we thought that was the most appropriate alignment, and that's one of our relief requests is an interpretation on whether that accessory garage and its driveway constitutes the right separation requirements. But otherwise, Other refinements to the plan is we identified an area within the open space, it's shown on the open space plan to sort of celebrate a little bit of the history and heritage of the site, where we propose to put in historical markers and perhaps reuse materials maybe from the home in the process. The parking has been bolstered to show 4 parking spaces per unit as opposed to the required 3. We've heard time and time again with our previous designs that you guys are concerned about, providing additional parking for visitors, guests, and so forth. So we've provided additional parking, and we've situated that with our stormwater management components to sort of combine what little disturbance we are asking for in terms of an exception, an additional 2% of the overall allowable disturbance in the riparian buffer. So we combined those extra overflow parking spaces with our stormwater areas to sort of make best use of this disturbance variance that we're asking for. By the nature of proposing townhouses and in the configuration that we show, we feel like it's a better outcome for the township, because instead of having what could be essentially 21 driveways entering onto Old Philadelphia Pike, we're handling them with private access driveways built to private driveway standards that access the units from the rear. By accessing a townhome from the rear and still providing some backyard personal space for the townhouses, we chose to go with detached garages. And if you imagine a detached garage on any other property is typically surrounded by ample side yards and property around it. One of the relief items on our list has to do with the proximity of these detached garages, which become accessory structures by nature of the fact that they're detached. Because they're associated with attached housing, townhouses, it's virtually impossible to put those into a configuration that's compliant with the side yard setback for the accessory structure. So we believe that there's, actually sort of an absence of accommodation in the ordinance to some degree that would address a detached garage for an attached housing style unit. So that's the reason for one of the relief requirements there. We're still maintaining that 2/3 of the site will remain undeveloped and permanently restricted from development, and that would be the whole area on the opposite side of the tributary and all of the remaining natural resources that are otherwise protected by requirement. I'd like to point out that one relief is asking for the cluster development to be allowed at 8.3 acres when a 10-acre requirement is in the ordinance. And I just want to point out that while that seems like perhaps a big variance, the option as it's applied to the project would actually enable 48 units to be developed on the site by the density calculation. The fact that we're only proposing 21 units clearly shows that we're not abusing the relief that we're requesting with this consideration for the cluster development option here, where essentially 45% of what would otherwise be allowed. So there's no abuse of the relief that's being requested. It just allows for a housing type that makes development sensible on this otherwise challenging piece of property.
And as Chris mentioned, and as was discussed at the last meeting, the bulk of this site to the south would be in a conservation easement, which was something that we talked about at length when we were last here. So we're happy to answer any other questions.
I have a couple questions. Laura, can I be recognized?
Yes, go ahead, Victoria.
Thank you. I appreciate that we've put on the historical marker. I just was hopeful you could give some more information on what the size of the marker that you're proposing is, and whether or not there's going to be any walking path or some kind of access for people to look at it. Not just the townhome owner that's closest or something, but something that people could come and see.
Sure. Stacy, could you please forward to the last page? Yes. So in meeting the open space requirements, which I'm happy to say that we meet 75% where otherwise 60% is required. We're actually showing and proposing 75% of the open space. The portion of usable open space is the dark green section up to the left as you're looking at the screen, left of unit 21. And there's a small box there that quite honestly is just a placeholder for now. And then we view this as something that we would like to work with the township, whether there's a committee or a commission or one of the factions that might be appropriate for us to work with to create some sort of a kiosk. And we show in the corner page, I don't know if you have these on your screens, but in the corner of this drawing there is there are a couple visual examples of similar type. Stacey, I don't know if you could pan down to the lower right-hand corner maybe. I forget exactly where it is, but on the page, just below that detail. I mean, just three of many different varieties that it could be. And we are proposing sidewalk along Old Philadelphia Pike. So certainly a direct walkway connection from the sidewalk could lead you right to this kiosk. And maybe it would include a bench, maybe it would include a picnic table or something. That corner is really the only meaningful area for any sort of open space, so that's why everything's sort of taking place.
Okay, so the idea is that the sidewalk would lead to some kind of walking path, and then you would work with our historical committee or whoever we designate to help design it. And it could include a bench along with the kiosk that in some kind of fashion similar to what you're showing. Okay. I like that idea, and I think I would be in favor of at least telling the zoning hearing board that that's something that we want to see if they were inclined to do anything. I do want to hear from our zoning what their position is on the requests.
Okay, but before we go there, can we? I have a question with the historic thing.
Oh, well, I mean, it doesn't matter. I just want to make sure that we get from, I don't yield the floor, but I would like, I don't want to, if we're talking about historical markers, maybe it's, it's okay.
Okay, that's no problem.
Okay.
What are you referring to? What do you want?
So, do you have, what's your position on the request for the variances?
Well, the requests for the variances, I think that the township should be opposed to a few of them, especially their request for the interpretations. I wrote about that at length in the memo, that some of the things that they're requesting interpretations on, such as the riparian buffer zone, the underground facilities that they want to construct, they're going to have to, when they're operating in the buffer zone, they'll have to remove a significant portion of that zone of the foliage, the trees, the roots, whatever, and bringing it back to that standard that it was before is going to take decades. Even if it's not something permanent like a parking lot or something like that, it's going to take a long time to get it back to that standard. So I think the township should be opposed to an interpretation in that manner. And it's also important that allowing for opinions and interpretations by the zoning hearing board as unopposed will set precedent for allowing them in the future. So the township should, in these cases, be opposed to at least the interpretations, if not some of the requests as well.
Okay. Yeah, I would just say
Victoria's ready to roll over.
I would just say that many times there's interpretations that are given that are fact specific based on the application that's before them, which is not a precedential ruling from the zoning hearing board. It's based on the facts there. And any of the instances where we ask for interpretations, we ask for variance relief in the alternative. And Chris, what you could...
Yeah, I failed to mention, and then I wanted to pick up on this because, I think that in many ways I can understand where the zoning officer's interpretation of the riparian buffer in particular is coming from, but I just wanted to point out and remind everybody that that there's virtually no riparian buffer there other than a dimensional boundary. There's no, this property's been mowed grass and field for the last, as long as you can find on Google Earth, looking back, this property's been mowed. So there's not really trees and foliage that's going to be displaced by any of this activity, and in fact, the plan includes and is required to include by ordinance riparian planting. So we're actually going to plant trees and shrubs and riparian plants that aren't there today, as opposed to disturbing ones that are. So I can understand the concern if this was a really high-quality riparian forest, but it's not. And I just wanted to just mention that. Yeah, so and also, and I think I brought this up last time, that the amount of area that we're talking about relative to the percentage that we're allowed to disturb is probably equal to about this room in terms of footprint. We're not talking acres and acres. We're talking, I think it was like 1,400 square feet.
Is he accurate on that?
On which part?
The square feet.
I'd have to look more at the plan to know that.
I yield for now.
May I go?
All right, Jason, yes?
This is a well thought out plan. I see that you put a lot of time and effort into it. I'm pretty clear you guys want to be good neighbors, right?
Yes.
So if you want to be good neighbors, did you contact by mail or phone Lower Saucon Authority about tonight's meeting?
Who?
Tonight's meeting, Lower Saucon Authority.
Lower Saucon Authority?
Yes.
No, we did not.
Right. Did you contact Lawrence Rigi?
So we were directed pursuant to.
Let me ask you a question. Did you contact Lawrence Reed? Say yes or no question.
I can answer the question how I feel.
Yeah. Please answer.
We have specific direction in the MPC that we're required to send the public notices a certain amount of days prior to the zoning hearing board taking place. So we did not send to any of this.
The answer is no. You
You're the one who explained it
wasting
because it's
time.
not required, and you're making it out like it is a
Well, you
requirement.
are.
And Jason, you know it's not a requirement.
I asked you, do you want to be good neighbors? And you said
Yes,
yes.
this is
So-
being good neighbors. We think the development is being
Well,
good
are you with
neighbors.
me?
Why is sending notice meaning good neighbors? The
You can be here all
development
night,
itself
Kate.
we
I'm going to
believe.
ask you the questions I want to ask you. You can choose to answer them however you want, but I'm going to ask them until you answer them to my satisfaction. Okay. So that's the way this is going to go. Did you contact?
Laura,
Did you
just a point of
contact
order,
Diane
can we
Realty?
just keep this
No.
from being an interrogation?
No.
I mean, I'm not gonna sit through a
Contact
3-hour
Larry or
deposition,
Shelley
I'm not
Fraser?
gonna do that.
No.
Did you contact William or
No.
Donna Brown?
It's just a point of order for
Did you
you.
contact Jose Luis
No.
Perez?
No.
Did you contact Christopher Sheldo?
No.
Did you contact 3672 Route 378 Associates?
No.
Did you contact, well, you're One More Steel City, so you wouldn't have to contact yourselves. Did you contact Timothy Rosengreen?
No.
Did you contact Virginia Stengline?
Okay, let's not go one by one through this
Did you
list. That's
contact-
a waste of time. No. They were not contacted, Jason, that was already established.
Vivian Miller.
Let's move on. Do you have other relevant questions?
He's asking relevant questions.
Did you contact
They're not
Keystone
relevant questions.
Automotive?
And we all know they're
They
not
are,
relevant
because you said you want to be good neighbor.
They're not being good neighbors.
Okay.
To move on, then we move on to a different
Do you
council.
have other questions?
At least she ain't a piece of shit like you.
You mentioned on this plan here, on this application,
I called for
that the
it.
purpose of this, would you stop interrupting me, Laura? The buildings and improvements to be provided, residential dwelling, detached garage, in-ground swimming pool. I don't remember an in-ground swimming pool being on any prior plans. Is there an in-ground swimming pool being proposed here?
It's never been ground.
Well, it says here on the, it says here on the variant 06-25, it's been received by the township June 24, 2025. It says specifically, it identifies the owner as One More Steel City, identifies the address of the property, 3679 Old Philadelphia Pike, Village Center. Tax parcel ID is listed here. On the second page, residential dwelling, describe the buildings and other improvements.
I said that the property currently contains a single-family home garage, and I probably put a pool by accident, but we're not proposing a pool
I see. Thank you for that clarification.
There is a pool on
on site,
Yeah.
yes.
Have you looked at any issues now? There's a waterway that goes down through the center of this property, right?
I'm sorry?
There's a waterway that goes down through the center of this property, right? There's a water concourse of some type.
Within the area identified on the map.
Goes down the property, right? And we've
I
already
wouldn't-
talked
I wouldn't
about
call it a
prior meetings. We've
waterway.
already talked in prior meetings about the flooding issues that occur in the area of Black River Road and Route 378. So it appears to me, can we agree that there's a high water table in this area? Yeah, you shook your head yes. You agree with that?
That's a fair assumption.
All right. Have you done any analysis on the effect of that water table on the properties that the buildings that you're going to be putting in there?
No, but that's something that would certainly be undertaken as we would work through the due diligence for the project.
Okay. There are also sinkholes that are prevalent in the Lehigh Valley. Have you done any investigation for sinkholes?
Not yet. That would be part of our due diligence as the project would move forward.
Now, I know we had Drew Jordanowski was here from the EAC because he wanted to speak on behalf of Russ Sutton, who's on the EAC. Has EAC weighed in on any of this? I mean, you're taking a largely undeveloped parcel of land that's 8.05 acres and proposing to put on it how many units?
21.
21? 21 units. Have they weighed in on this?
Based on my notes from the last council meeting, there was a motion to forward the application, not by us, to the EAC and the Historical Commission.
Okay, have you participated in any EAC meetings?
I have not.
Okay, so they haven't done their job in looking at this.
I can't answer that question.
Well, how long ago was it that you're here?
I
4 months
don't
ago,
know,
5
I don't
months
know
ago?
when it would have occurred. I do know that we did get comments that were forwarded to us from the Historical Commission, and perhaps there was some from the EAC, and I can't recall off the top of my head, but I know that we received the comments that we discussed last time from the Historical Commission.
We had a lot of meetings. When were you here last time?
My notes reflect that it was in February.
February, so 5 months ago. And you haven't heard anything from the EAC in the past 5 months?
But I don't know whether the intent was for them to get this further, like when we were doing the land development, I don't recall in specifics, except that there was talk about the walking feature that we just talked about, and the monument, and for the Historical Commission comments to be given to us, which were given to us since the last time, and then potential for the plan to ultimately be forwarded to the EAC.
All right, number 15 of the application here, zoning application. It says the following, the nature of the unique circumstances and the unnecessary hardship justifying this request for a variance is the property contains unique physical and topographical conditions that disproportionately limit the ability to develop. Additional testimony will be provided at the time of the hearing. What's the additional testimony that you anticipate providing at the hearing?
Specifics on the actual, so when you do your application, you don't put the entire testimony that you're going to present through your witnesses. And so the witnesses will explain the specific features that are set forth on the property.
I'm asking, what are you anticipating that testimony will be? I'd like to hear it, because you're asking us to take a position on this. I'd like to know what you intend to present.
So I would be asking Chris questions to confirm the features specific to the property, the whatever.
What features? Yeah, give me some details here. I understand you're going to ask these people
What
questions.
features, Chris,
Sure.
the example would be,
Yeah,
Mr. Brown, what features are located on the property that provide this property to be unique as compared to the other properties that are located along Old
Thank you,
Philadelphia
Mr. So
Pike?
that's the question I'm trying to get at. I'd like to know that for my decision.
Yes.
He's trying to remain professional, Mr. Chairman.
The property is encumbered by numerous natural resources that are specified in the zoning ordinance with relating setbacks and disturbance limitations. Those include wetlands, riparian buffers, waters and streams of the Commonwealth, woodlands, steep slopes, woodlands with steep slopes, and I think that's about all.
I would also ask him follow-up questions for him to
Thank you. I
identify.
don't know if it's done answering.
Yeah, no,
We
that's.
went back to a plan that was coming back.
I was just looking, and I covered them all. Those are, and the fact that they run down the middle of the property, and, you know, their offsets are prescribed dimensionally in the ordinance, makes this a particularly challenging property with regard to those requirements.
So those are the topographical features that you believe create a hardship for you.
Not topographical, those are more the natural features. Topography is not necessarily
Physical
synonymous.
features. We call them physical features?
Physical, natural features is really what it comes down to.
Right. We can agree that the property has a single-family home on it, correct?
Yes.
And the property was able to have a single-family home on it with these physical and topographical features, correct?
That is correct, but that is not the burden at the zoning hearing board because it's not a use variance that's being requested.
I understand.
And a use variance application would have to show that the property couldn't otherwise be put to a use that was otherwise permitted in the zoning ordinance.
I understand. So, when you say disproportionately limit, what does that mean? Does that mean that the developer can't max out the property to squeeze every square inch of development and profit out of it? Is that what that
No,
means?
it disproportionately limits it because the area of developable is along the front and along the rear, and it's disproportionate. It's also disproportionate given the swath that goes through the center of it.
Disproportionate to what?
disproportionate to the other properties that are along Philadelphia Pike that don't have the same types of features and the developable area that's left. And we certainly are not maximizing the site because Mr. Brown just testified to the fact that, well, didn't testify because it's not a public hearing, he just spoke about what could be on here if the true density that's allowed under this zoning ordinance and for this property were presented, which was what, Chris, almost twice?
Yeah, it was over twice. 48 units are allowed based on the calculation density of a developable area of this property, only proposing 21 units.
So let me ask you about this historical marker. This historical marker, what are you putting up the historical marker for?
Is in response to the feedback that we received at the last meeting about paying some homage to the history of the existing structure and prior families on this property.
What was that? What's the historical marker? Remind me.
I believe when we were here before, and I don't have the historic report in front of me, but something along the lines of it potentially having been a spot along the Underground Railroad. And that there was information provided that did that, not by us, but that somebody from the Historic Committee did the research back. And so the intent was to have a historical marker with the kiosk and the other information to be provided so that if somebody was interested in the history of the property and the Underground Railroad, that would be part of the marker. I don't know all the history of the property, but that was the intention.
This proposed historical marker, will it identify the developer who destroyed this property and took away the historical feature that existed before the development went in?
Well, we certainly can put their name on it if you would like.
Sure, if you'd like to, yeah. I think that would be, and will it reflect that the developer is the one that developed this property that was once a stop, or believed to be a stop on the Underground Railroad?
Well, the stop is not there now, so this developer is not the
Of
one.
course, slavery got abolished in
Well,
1860.
So
whatever.
this developer did not
Of course,
remove what was there when it was the Underground Railroad. So I don't know who it was who would have removed it when it was the Underground Railroad, but this developer would be preserving and putting a marker on there to be able to appreciate the historic relevancy. No, your question to me was, will the developer who took away what was the historic aspect of it, put his name, and that wasn't us.
It's a historic aspect, and so don't put words in my mouth. They didn't say the developer took away the Underground Railroad, because the Underground Railroad doesn't exist anymore. I think we can all agree upon that. It went away 150 years ago.
I think we can all agree about that, yes.
So we agree upon that.
But the structure that's being removed is not the historical, it's not the Underground Railroad stop. The stop is somewhere elsewhere on the property, it wasn't in that house.
I thought there were aspects of the structure that were part of this. I thought there was an investigation that was done. There were aspects.
The house does not qualify for being on historical register.
Now you're changing the law. Like, listen to me. I thought there were aspects of the structure that are on the property that were believed to have been part of the Underground Railroad.
Yeah.
Am I mistaken about that?
It's my understanding that the property was a stop, not the house that is there.
And my understanding was that part of the structure was.
That was not my understanding.
Has Lower Saucon Fire Rescue reviewed this plan and done any investigation and analysis as to whether or not these roadways that are being proposed are sufficient for the fire apparatus that this township has so generously purchased for them?
Not to my knowledge, I don't believe that they would be involved until the land development phase, because typically that is when the plan is sent to the fire and potentially emergency services.
So, the zoning officer mentioned that you would need to remove a significant amount of foliage to accomplish what you're intending to do.
And that is incorrect. That's why Mr. Brown just explained that this is not an area where there's riparian that would cause that significant amount to be removed. It is grass. And we were putting trees in place of areas where there is grass.
All right, well, I'm gonna direct my attention back to the zoning officer, Tyler. That's looking great. Which is it? Are you correct in that they're gonna have to disturb, I mean, you're paid by the township to watch out for the township's interest. Is it fair to say that, like you said earlier, that the significant amount of foliage will be disturbed, and they seem to be disputing that, so where's the truth?
They're gonna have to disturb the riparian buffer zone. I haven't made an actual site visit, so I guess I couldn't attest to what's in that zone, but they're going to have to disturb that zone, yeah.
Tell me I didn't hear you right. You said you didn't go and do an actual site visit?
That's right.
You knew this was on the agenda, right? And it's literally right across the street from the township offices.
Right.
Okay.
Why did you do it? Just out of curiosity.
It's not really typical for us to do an entire site visit for a variance application.
Okay. Even when it's across the street.
That doesn't really matter the location.
That's a lot easier when it's across the street, isn't it?
I would agree with that, yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
That's all I have.
Sure. All right, I just have a few questions.
Okay, Tom, you can have the floor then, since you asked a nice.
No, I never asked. What do you envision that these are going to sell for? I want to know what we're doing here.
Yeah, I think they would be $600,000 to $700,000 price point.
How many units?
600 to 700K per unit.
What's
You bought
in the moment?
12.6 million. You bought the property for 500,000. Was it 700?
14.7.
14.7 million. 12.6. Well, and what? I'm missing. Is it going to be a homeowners association that's going to take care of everything?
Yes.
Okay. And they're going to plow the roads?
Yes.
They're in the interim?
Yes.
They actually would own, the
Oh.
homeowner association would own it
Yeah.
as a project.
Oh, and plow, right. Plow, right. Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay. Well, I think Jason covered most of it. But Ms. Durso, you can be more professional with Jason. You know, someone reached out to me. No, I'm going to tell something that someone reached out to me early on in this and said, would it be better if we didn't have Kate Durso represent us? And I said no. I said you should keep. I think she'd do a good job and she's professional, but I don't know. Change my mind now.
Okay, Priscilla, do you have questions?
I have questions. Now we're at this point now, and the 21 homes, I think this is the best option. I like the fact that we're going to be doing, and I apologize, I only even looked at the drawings for the box. I didn't scroll over to the edge. But, so that was going to be one of my questions. So I also worked with the historic committee on this project, and they would be more than happy to work with you to develop something. Offer that.
And I know that the owner, we had gotten calls about information in the building that we made, so if they need to access it again.
They will, yeah. Okay. So I'm speaking for them, I'm the liaison, so we appreciate that. So I have to say though that the letter with the opposing, whatever your wording was, I agree with his letter, Tyler's letter. So I can't support that portion, but
Would you prefer that we withdraw the interpretations and just proceed with the variance
I
request?
can't tell you what to do, but.
No, I'm just saying, that seems to be the hang.
I am not comfortable with the interpretation part. I am more comfortable with, if you were to remove the interpretation and resubmit it, I would be comfortable with taking no position, but in the event the zoning hearing board were to grant variances, I would ask that they also consider placing conditions that would require connections to Town Hall Park, which you have via the sidewalk, but something leading to the historical kiosk and monument designed with input from the historical committee. Just basically memorializing what you've publicly, in good faith, offered, but just putting some more teeth behind that and asking for a condition if they were going to grant the variances. That's what I'm comfortable with.
We don't have an issue with withdrawing the interpretations, and the zoning hearing is not intended to be till the end of August, so we have adequate time to, you know.
They canceled the other meeting in July.
I actually asked for it not to be on the July. One, because we didn't know what would transpire here, and two, I actually was going to be away, so it was So we waited for the August figuring if we had some cleanup to do, we wouldn't have to worry about re-advertising and whatnot. So we can certainly get the revised in plenty of time for the advertisements to go. Because I think the advertising, I don't know if I remember the advertising, but the advertising is going to go into what, middle of August, I think?
The advertisements are on the applicant. You're saying like the letters or the advertisement?
No. The advertising, the paper.
Oh, yeah, it won't be until later.
Right, yeah, so we would have adequate time before the advertisement, and certainly before the, yeah, we know we have to send the letters, yeah.
So, Mr. Guzzian, what, if they're willing to withdraw that, do we wait for them to resubmit? And then, or should we, you know, is it appropriate if we're inclined to vote?
I think what you could do is if you want, if somebody wants to make a motion, to send a letter to the zoning hearing board indicating that the township council opposes the proposed interpretation and that the applicant has agreed to withdraw them. And then number two would be, if that's what you want, township council takes no position with regard to the variance requests. And then number three would be, they would keep the historical markers as they've already represented. And number four would be, they would keep their open space requirements that they've already represented. One could make that motion.
I'm going to make that motion, just adding one more portion to the, I think it was number 3, about the historical marker, to make sure that there would be some ability for the public to view it and access it and work with our historical committee on design.
And I'll second that, thank you.
All right, so I think that was a good motion. I'm generally favorable to looking at this as a cluster development as well. We talked about that at length before, a couple times, I believe. That reduced the driveways, you know, having all these homes with individual driveways, which is what is normal in this area. So,
Susan's giving a direction here. Can you explain, Steve, exactly what the motion is?
Yeah, repeat the full motion,
It
everything.
made no sense to me. It's been changed 3 times.
It has not been changed.
It has. Then repeat
Because
it.
it was the first was going to be against it, and then the second was we're going to be against it as written, but they're going to remove 3 things.
we didn't make any other motions before.
What is the motion? Just state the motion for the record.
I did.
Can you repeat it then? Just
I will summarize it for
you won't repeat it.
you. No.
Okay.
Because
$220 an hour, taxpayer money. He won't repeat a motion for us to vote on. He won't repeat a motion for us. $220 an hour, and he won't repeat a motion.
Just a stall tactic.
Just repeat the motion or summarize it or do whatever.
If we're like leaving the dais and walking back and having conversations with other people while the other one was on the phone, you would have heard it.
No, I was
It's
back
part of
up
the
here. I
YouTube-
don't understand.
It's part of the YouTube channel, and it is just a delay and stall tactic.
Oh, what are you talking about? YouTube channel? What are you talking about?
So I'm not-
What is the
Yeah,
motion?
he's going to do the summary of the motion, and then Victoria added the not supportive of the
It has been changed. So that is. Yes, thank
She
you.
added an addition to it. But we
Thank
didn't
you.
have
So it
all
has
those
been
other,
just
we
changed.
didn't have 3 other motions.
So the motion in summary format is Township Council, or the motion would be for the solicitor to send a letter to the zoning hearing board regarding the application, where number 1, Township Council would oppose the proposed interpretations, and the applicant would agree to withdraw those proposed interpretations. Number 2, Township Council would take no position with regard to the variance requests. Number 3, the applicant would keep the historical markers, provide access, and as represented in their earlier indications before Township Council. And number 4, the applicant would keep the open space and the other environmental items they previously represented to Township Council. That's the summary of the earlier motion.
What do you mean by provide access? Like the public can go on and look at the historical marker? Is that what the access is?
It was to make
Yes.
sure that there was, yes, the ability for the public to access the historical marker, yes, to work with the historical commission.
I understand.
Thank you. Thank you for.
It's not that hard.
Okay, can we have a roll call?
$220 an hour, we gotta beg for an explanation of a motion.
Mr. Banonis?
No.
Ms. Uptown Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Carochi?
Yes.
Ms. De Leon?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-1.
All right. item is 5B, to authorize the Act 537 update for the Meadows Road pump station.
So the Meadows Road Pump Station currently under construction along with Fort Cove right now. As I mentioned to council before this pump station can service anyone other than the giant plaza that it is serving now, the township has to amend their Act 537 plan to identify the service area that will ultimately be served by this pump station. So due to the fact that it's under construction now, we really should get started on that.
If I could be recognized, Laura?
Yes.
Just for historical preference, when I first started going to the Water Authority meetings, we discussed the idea that the township would coordinate our Act 537 update with the pump station becoming online, and we budgeted for this in the budget as a line item at the end of last year so that we could have that accomplished. So this is just the next step in that line. I know that, at least at the Water Authority meeting last night, it was represented that you've already had some contact and started looking at old maps and things like that. So I'm very happy that we can move this forward.
All right, well, I'll make the motion.
I'll second the motion.
I'll make a motion and you can have your comment, Tom, that's okay. I'll make the motion to authorize Hanover Engineering Associates to update the Township's Act 537 plan to reflect the service area for the Meadows Road pump station. Okay, Tom, go ahead.
So, are you aware of what we're doing now without the pump station? That we've been working with Hellertown and they've been taking some of it off-site. Are you familiar with that? How much is that costing the water authority, do you know?
I don't know. My understanding is they were going to look at the cost for pumping, was the other option, and then approach Hellertown to say, look, why, instead of us doing this, why don't you let us continue to flow until we can get our new station? But that's the last thing.
Victoria, you're the liaison, what's happening? Are they removing the pump, the flow, or is Hellertown allowing us to use?
There's been a renewed agreement for Hellertown to do that.
How much?
When they did, I can't tell you the figure off the top of my head, but when they looked at the analysis and the cost, they had to compare the alternative, which was for us to truck the sewage ourselves and pay a company to do that. So both in the first instance, which I think happened more than 2 years ago, where they initially did the agreement with Hellertown Water Authority, and in the most recent updated agreement, both times they negotiated a favorable cost benefit to the Water Authority as opposed to the alternative, which would be to truck. So that's all part of the Water Authority's public meetings, and all that information is available, but that's the outcome.
Right. Do you know how long we've been trying to build this pump station? How long? I have an idea. Go ahead, tell the public.
Since the late 1990s is when Ahold, which developed the giant site, came in and started the planning process.
Right. And why do you think it's taken so long, in your opinion?
Well, I know the authority looked at other options to go to eliminate the pump station altogether, to go gravity through Hellertown to connect into the city, and they couldn't reach a deal with Hellertown, is my understanding. So that took a while.
Right. So for 25 years, Hellertown wouldn't cut a deal with us. They were shaking us down, and 25 years, at least, maybe longer. They've been shaking us down. And, this is, this is residents and taxpayer money. You pay your water bill, and this is what you get. It takes over 25 years to build a pump station because of, when I was on the liaison, I was trying to get them to move quickly on this and just get it done, just build it and be done with Hellertown on it. Bill Ross does not move that quickly at all. I'm not sure what his qualifications for that job actually were.
My
But,
understanding
he's
is
been
that
there
he
for a
did not
while.
attend the water authority meetings for
I
at least
did.
1 year
I
prior
did.
to being
No, that's not true.
removed
That's
as the
not
water
true.
authority liaison.
That's not
You removed it
true. That's not true. That's inaccurate. That's
That's not because Tom was in our meetings, you removed
That's
everybody.
It wasn't in
That's
attendance,
inaccurate.
I'm sure that you can check out the
Just
public,
not.
you can check
Yeah,
out the
okay.
minutes and see who
Right.
attended.
So that's the truth, is that Hellertown wanted to try and hold us up. Now, finally, we're gonna build our own pump station. And, but at a cost, it's a huge cost. Victoria, what is the current cost of building a pump station?
I didn't bring those figures with me.
Because
you don't
Because
have
this
them.
is
Is
a
it-
water
it's-
authority meeting, the water authority meeting was
Brian,
last
do you
night.
know?
They
Brian, do you know?
went
Do you know what the current
They went
cost of
through
that
the figures, they're in the middle of.
Generally, how much does it
construction.
cost for a
One at
pump
a
station?
time.
Well, she's interrupting.
If
You
you're gonna ask
recognize
me a
me.
question, you
You
have to let
recognize
me
me.
answer the question.
And you said you
before
didn't
talk
know. You
over
said you didn't
me.
know.
No, I wasn't finished answering the question.
Right.
You let Brian
As I
answer.
recall, as I recall, when I left the Water Authority Board, I think they were up to about $2.5–3 million. That was a couple of years ago. With inflation, I imagine it's higher than that.
Yeah, well, there's other parts to it as well, the gravity to go from the current pump station down to the new pump station, and all the force mains required to get under the creek by the new bridge and up Meadows Road, so it's more than just the pump station. So that figure that you're remembering is probably
Much higher, much higher. So again, this is township residents who have to pay for this, probably anywhere from $3 to $5 or $6 million project, because again, Hellertown, shaking us down, and that'll be in their water bill. I'm sure they've increased it a little bit recently, I know, but I'm sure there will be big increases to come to pay for this full amount. But you're doing a bang-up job there on the water authority, Top. You don't know, you couldn't answer one question.
I'm happy to.
Couldn't answer one question.
In light of the fact that there was no liaison attending.
You can't even tell us. You can't even tell us.
You're not doing the
You
job.
can't even
Okay,
tell us. You
okay.
can't even tell us
That's
whether
enough.
this project is going to
That
cost
is
$3
enough.
million, $4
That
million,
is all.
$5 million, or $6
I
million.
made a motion, can I have a
She can't
second?
even tell us
I
that.
had
You
seconded.
know, the water authorities, you can't even tell us how
Okay,
many
Victoria,
millions it's going
second.
to
Can I
cost
have a
for
roll
township
call?
residents.
No, I haven't had a chance to
He
speak.
hasn't
I have a chance to
spoken.
speak. Hold
He
on.
hasn't spoken on this.
So Brian, let me ask you another question, if you don't mind. Ideally, to build a pump station, such as the pump station, the Meadows Road pump station, from beginning to end, how long does that process, how long would it take for that process to work itself out? I'm not asking what happened here, but I'm asking, in an ideal world,
An
where,
ideal world, why would we do that?
because you live in your own world.
We don't live in an ideal world, so why would you ask that
In an
question?
ideal world, Brian, if you were engineering this and you were planning a time frame for this to happen, what would you estimate the time frame would be?
2 to 2.5 years if you've got real estate acquisition and you've got to look at routes to take all the pipes that go to it, so that wouldn't be outlandish.
So 2 to 2.5 years, and you said this thing has been talked about since the 1990s. 10 times longer than it should have taken, and how much over budget? Victoria can't tell you the price of it, and we're getting the old Hellertown shakedown.
Or she
We entered into a new agreement, Victoria acknowledges we entered into a new agreement to transport Lower Saucon sewage through the Hellertown system, when this thing could have been done and built and completed without having the Hellertown shakedown, and everybody paying more for their water, more for their sewage bill.
They would have
That's
needed the
remarkable.
pump station regardless. The property is in
you
Lower
get the
Saucon
shakedown. Would you
Township.
please have me stop
This
interrupting
isn't-
me?
She's interrupting.
No, we're not having any productive conversation at all here.
You just don't like the conversation.
When you're
You just don't like
misrepresenting and
after the
putting
game's
things
on.
in
You don't like
putting words in
conversation.
people's mouths, it has to be corrected. It's not an accurate representation. Giant is in Lower Saucon Township.
She can't
The
tell
pump
us.
station needed to be done in Lower Saucon Township.
done?
I can't
She
tell
can't
you
tell us what we're
happened
paying
25
now.
years ago.
She can't tell us what we're
But
paying now. She can't
irrespective
tell us
of
how
that,
much the project's
The water
gonna be.
authority,
And she's on the
4
water
years
authority.
ago,
Okay.
came before you with the request to go ahead and build their pump station. That's when the water authority
The blonde
chose to
dog
move
strikes
forward.
again.
We are not the dictators of what the water authority does or does not do.
She can't,
You can attend a water authority meeting,
she
and
can't tell us
I
the
welcome
price.
everybody, in
She
fact,
can't
I've
tell us
said
the
that
price.
multiple times.
She attends and
That
she
people
can't tell us
attend
the
the water
price.
authority meeting,
She
so
attends and
they
she
can
can't
get
tell us
the
the price.
information.
Yeah.
But on top of that, I think
No, I
to
think we're
try
gonna
and
take a roll
argue that
call
this
on
is
this.
something that's happened in the last year,
I'm not
when it's not, it's something that's been planned for many years, and it started under the prior administration, and now it's followed
now
through
it's
this
our
way.
fault.
It's just more of the same, but I think to use your time to disparage other people, to criticize the water authority and other municipalities is another derelict of your responsibility as a township council person.
Well, I really.
Derelict in duty, you can't tell, you attend the
Alright.
meetings and you can't tell us how much it's gonna cost. You're derelict in duty, you can't tell us how much
This
it's gonna
agenda
cost
item is to update
to build this
the
pump
Act
station, and you can't tell us how much we're
537
paying now to get the stuff out of Howardtown. We're derelict in duty,
We're not
you
doing
attend the
the
meetings and you
plans,
can't
the
tell us
pump
that.
station.
You can't tell us
You're
that.
pointing yourself.
You can't tell us
on the
that.
credential that
We
if
asked
sewage
you-
comes out of your mouth. That's the credential.
Asked you for two numbers, we asked you for two numbers, and you couldn't
Okay,
do it,
that's
you couldn't do
enough.
it.
She
Two
doesn't have the
you can't
numbers,
do it.
so let's move on. Let's
Right.
have a roll call.
She attends the meetings, she doesn't have the numbers.
Yes.
Mr. Caroci?
I want the numbers, no.
Ms. De Leon?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Banonis?
I'll vote yes to authorize the engineer to update the plan. This is the document, right?
I guess that's what the,
Make a motion to replace.
I didn't ask you, I'm not speaking to the.
I make a motion to replace Victoria Optoff on the
Second.
lowest locking authority.
Second.
okay.
Second.
There's a motion and a
Next
second.
item is 5C.
Let's talk about absolute utter incompetence.
5C to award the bid for the Frederick Street and Yost Avenue reconstruction project. We received 6 bids for Frederick Street and Yost Avenue reconstruction project. The township staff is recommending that the bid be awarded to lowest responsible bidder, which is H&K Group Incorporated, in the amount of $219,157.25. So I'll make the motion to award Frederick Street and Yost Avenue reconstruction project to the lowest responsible bidder, which is H&K Group Incorporated, for $219,157.25.
I'll second that.
Before we have any further discussion, may I be heard?
Sure.
Just so Township Council's aware, although it doesn't necessarily affect directly the awarding of the bid, there's a series of documents that have not been completed yet. Some relate to a right-of-way based on a private party, one relates to an intermunicipal agreement. So if someone's inclined to amend the motion to award the bid as stated, but with all the documents to be drafted to the satisfaction of Township staff, that would be something to consider.
Do those documents have the potential of increasing this bid? In other words, there would be a supplement to this bid, or?
No, it wouldn't relate to the bid, it's just merely we couldn't move forward with the project because certain things aren't done. And we wouldn't want to be in a position where
Okay.
6 months from now,
Understand.
someone said, why did you ask? So
Thank
we're
you.
asking now.
Okay, I understand, thank you. Just making sure we're not gonna get a supplemental bill that's gonna take the 219 over one of the other bids.
Well, I just have a question about, is there a time frame for this project? Because if we're waiting for private parties to agree, they may not agree right away. Isn't that correct?
That's correct, that's why I'm asking for this approval now.
Right, but, so it's possible, 219, if this private party doesn't come back and agree, let's say they don't come back for a year or 18 months, just, they may want to, they may need more than 219.
We may have to come back before you if the numbers change.
Yeah.
Correct. But hopefully that will not happen. That's
If
why.
the numbers change, we'd also then have the option to put it out for rebid.
Sure.
Right. I just wanted to make sure, Steve, everybody knows, understands.
So by accepting the bid, it's not binding on the township pending the outcome of this additional information.
That's exactly right.
Right.
That's been communicated to Haynes and Kibble House, and they understand that completely.
I don't believe it has yet. It's going to be after tonight.
As part of the agreement here. Okay.
So I'll amend the motion to include the statement that Steve made regarding additional documentation that is required.
Can you explain that word, what he said?
I'll revise my second.
He's lost.
All right, can I have a roll call?
Wait till I tell the pickleball story.
Mr. Caroci?
Yes.
Ms. De Leon,
Yes.
Ms. Ray,
Yes.
Mr. Banonis,
Yes. This is
Ms.
what the township
Southcott
can do to
Cordero?
pave roads.
Ms. Southcott
Yes.
Cordero. Motion passes 5-0.
Still.
All right.
Figure, pickleball
5B
courts, she
is
follows
discussion
small-
and possible action.
She was asking where the pickles.
The June 3rd Bethlehem landfill PADEP municipal waste inspection report. This was Jason's request.
Which one is this?
So what did you want to discuss on this
Well, the-
report?
Yeah, what I wanted to discuss on this is, you know, the three Democrats on this majority love to vilify the landfill. And here we have a report from DEP, and I know they like to second guess DEP and say that DEP isn't doing an adequate job, and they have their cronies call all the time. But there are, give me 1 second. Over 112 different categories here. And in each one of these categories include the following: daily, general provisions, daily operations, cover, slopes, vegetation, revegetation, water quality protection, liner system, leachate treatment, record keeping and reporting, minerals and gas, recycling, special handling of residual wastes, bonding and insurance. Over 112 separate items have been inspected by the Pennsylvania DEP, and no violations or not applicable was found for each and every one of those. So every time they sit up here and they defame and they vilify the landfill, I would direct I would direct the public to consider not listening to these ladies, to look at what the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection, who have trained engineers and professionals who look at these things and are trained to look at these things, and their findings. And the findings are specifically that there is absolutely no violation or no problem with the landfill's operations. Their words are lies, they're dishonest, they have landfill derangement syndrome, and it's true, Priscilla, it's landfill derangement syndrome, I know, it's a big term.
Yeah, what are you saying?
I'm saying you have landfill derangement syndrome.
And why are you saying that?
Because we're talking about the landfill, and the three of you.
And what is the purpose of calling us that name?
No, I'm saying you have a syndrome.
Because you're
It's a syndrome.
And you can identify your doctor.
No, I
Okay.
never said I was.
No,
I don't pretend to be, and I'm not on a TV show. But you have you and others in this community have a landfill derangement syndrome, and you refuse to accept the reality of the way this landfill operates. And I would direct your attention, if I could, to most recently, the strike that occurred in Philadelphia. You see the images of mountains of trash that are piled up on sidewalks. And that is the community that you would want us to have if you are successful in stopping the landfill continued operations here. That pays a lot of money to the township, a lot of money. Money that you're going to use to pave that road that we just talked about, at $219,000. Money that you're going to use to pay for all sorts of things, police, fire services, everything. So keep in mind, public, don't believe what they're telling you. Look to what the state government is telling you, because those people at least have some credibility in these issues.
Right, and now I'd like to be recognized.
Okay, Tom.
Yes, the Pennsylvania DEP, it's been, the Secretary of the DEP has been appointed by Josh Shapiro, a Democrat, and has served for going on, how many years now? A lot, it doesn't matter. And before that, it was Governor Wolf, also another Democrat. The DEP has no problems whatsoever with the Bethlehem landfill, is the bottom line. And because they run a good company out there, they run a good company. And we should be grateful to them that they take our trash at a reasonable price, and the cost of removing garbage from our homes is not exorbitant. Everybody's trash goes to a landfill. This is simply a not in my backyard issue for these people. And it's basically a not in my backyard for Victoria's parents issue. Although I guess they sell, did they sell, did they disclose that there's a landfill close by to the sellers? But regardless of that, you know, the landfill is about a third of our budget. I think it's close to $40 million since 1999 the township has received from the landfill. The expansion is approved. We will, by the courts, we will receive approximately another $80 million over the next 18 to 20 years. And that pays for police, pays for our parks and paving roads and expansion. So I want to thank the landfill for, one, being a great community partner, and two, for running a very well-run landfill according to the real experts, which is the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection, not Priscilla, who hasn't worked in 40 years or whatever. She claims she's fatigued or something and collects benefits or did.
Can you keep your comments onto the subject? Your personal comments are not necessary.
I understand, you gotta cover up.
And when you look at any of the calls, complaints, they like to their calls and complaints. It's always from the same address, the same people that they ginned up. They're just, again, they're in the not my backyard camp. It's not that they don't put their trash. They do put the trash at the end of the driveway. I think they're so misled they think it just disappears when the can's empty. But no, it goes to a landfill. And it's better to expand existing landfills than to have to start new ones, which is exactly what would happen. And the DEP knows that. And I think eventually we'll get this expansion. Looking forward to many more years of the landfill doing business in the township. And thank you. Oh, yeah. The other thing was, what was her email? So we got an email from Kathy Pitchell-McGovern about, what was that, the trucks?
Trucks. Explaining that trucks, all the trash trucks going to the landfill driving by our house shouldn't be driving on these roads.
Right. There's a limited number of trucks, just for the residents to know. The host municipal agreement calls for a limited hours of operation and a limited number of trucks every day. And there's nothing that I've seen where that's been violated, the hours of operation or the number of trucks being there. Now, and there are procedures. This is something that the public should also know. They'll complain about overweight trucks, but the trucks are weighed when they come in, and if they're overweight, they usually give them a timeout, meaning they make them sit there for, like, I believe it's an hour or something like that, before they can dump and be on their way to do whatever it is. And then second violations, there's a timeout or I think they prevent them from coming back for a week or so. We'll have to look at the host municipal inspection agreement to see what it says, but there are penalties when there's overweight trucks, and the landfill's not responsible for the overweight trucks. They're just taking what's in the overweight trucks, but it's better that they take what's in the overweight trucks than they refuse the overweight trucks, and then they send the overweight trucks back out on our roads to find another landfill somewhere, or to take it somewhere else. So it's handled appropriately. It always has been. And when you see these people with landfill derangement syndrome and whining, and you remember, they're not the experts. The Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection is the experts. These three clowns obviously know nothing. And so thank you to the landfill for being a valued community partner.
Okay, Priscilla?
Yeah, thank you. So I'd like to bring your attention to page 8 of 17, under cover slopes revegetation, and the category is not determined, so not everything has no violation. And it reads daily intermediate cover meets, and it gives the code, performance and design requirements, the code, and then it says remark. So this was added to their generic form that they use. Notices of violation were issued to BLC on February 8th, 2024 and February 10th, 2025, that both included a violation of 25 PA Code 273.233B1. BLC has responded to 2/8/2024 and 2/10/2024 NOVs. However, due to some continued flagging odors observed in the southeast slope intermediate cover area, the violations remain outstanding until such time that BLC applies appropriate intermediate cover in accordance with 25 PA Code 273.233B-C. That's been going on since, if you want to use February 10th of 2025, all the way back to 2/8/2024. It's continued. This is supposed to be a professional company that's supposed to know how to run a landfill. And I bring your attention to page, and it starts with comments on page 14. And the conductor conducts, a site tour. A moderate intermediate sewage odor was detected along Shimersville near the sewage treatment plant. A very light garbage and/or dead animal odor was detected along Johnston. It is noted that it was garbage collection day in Still City, which, to just jump in here, it's garbage collection day every day of the week in Still City because there's multiple garbage collectors.
Only in the township.
So
Tomatoes
it's everywhere, yeah, exactly.
Yes, it is.
Exactly.
People generate trash.
Absolutely.
trucks
So, and we allow private haulers to come in and collect trash as mom and pop businesses to support. A moderate intermediate landfill gas odor was detected along Apple Butter Road at 907 from Schwint's Yard to the storage lockers, and a light intermediate garbage odor was detected at the storage lockers. Upon return to this area at 9:17, the landfill gas odor was light and intermediate, I can't say that now, intermittent, and detected just near the storage lockers, and a light intermittent garbage odor was also detected near the storage lockers. A light intermittent landfill gas odor was detected along Sherry Hill Road near Apple Butter Road. And then it says, see the odor patrol logs. So since this inspection, there has been 9 complaints. And you have to understand that there's a radius surrounding this landfill. So of course it's going to be the same people all the time in the complaint log because it's within that radius. That makes sense if you understand that. Then it goes on to say checklist comments. Line item 17. Let's see, remark. A notice of violation was issued on 2/8/2024 that included, and I already said that, however, the violation remains outstanding. So I would think that's pretty clear.
Can I just ask the officer to come over here because I'm being pushed by Mr. Carochi?
What are we doing? Can we sit in our seats like
for a
down?
council meeting? So I would appreciate if we just recognize people's personal space and that we not push each other in an aggressive way. So I'm just gonna make a making a public complaint that I was being pushed aggressively by Mr. Carochi by using the council chair. Thank you.
All right.
Sorry to interrupt.
You pushed the
Priscilla.
papers in your
Go ahead.
computer on me too, so, no.
Okay, so
Just go, all right, stop being a child.
Jason, I have the floor.
So telling your colleague to stop being a child.
You stop being a child.
She interrupted you first. I'm telling you to stop being a child. So
This is on page
You're really
15 of
fast.
17.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Let's see, continued gas odor. And BLC is reminded that cover shall meet the performance and design requirements. Again, this is a professional company that should know all this stuff. Need for additional flaring capacity when the gas to energy plant is not in operation. And then as I was going on to the checklist, it says, line item 22, remark, notices of violation were issued on February 8th, 2024 and February 10th, 2025, that both included a violation. BLC has responded, and however, the violation remains outstanding. This is in several categories. Line item 52, remark, notices of violation were issued. That both include, and I'm repeating myself, but this is continued in this report, which you didn't read. Notice of violations were issued, however, due to the continued flagging and odors observed in the southeast intermediate cover area, violations remain outstanding until such time that they apply appropriate immediate cover in accordance with the law. Now, you know, if they would do the cover, there probably would be less complaints about odors, but it's just simple operation of a landfill. So then, if you read it, I'm just going to reiterate that there's gas issues in the southeast corner, there's cover issues that I explained, there's additional tarping that's needed that's not being done, continual flagging that's not being done, and odors in the southeast. These are definitely problems, so not a mockery sitting up here, but apparently my peers feel that way. But in addition, I'd like to take this opportunity to say that I also received pictures from different residents about the vultures. There's definitely vultures, and there's large numbers of them that go on people's property and perch, and they're picking at the roof, and they're doing a lot of things. Well, that's considered a complaint with DEP. So just like an odor complaint. So if you have issues with vultures, they're...
I wouldn't want to picture you, trust me. I don't want to picture you.
I have some order here, point of
One of your
order.
colleagues, she's trying to take pictures of us. Weird.
I already got you with the flag.
America.
So, vultures happen to be a federally protected species, which I did not know. And DEP, according to Roger Bella, says that any complaints that you have regarding them on your property, take pictures and forward them to his office. And or you want to make an oral complaint, you can call 866-255-5. Can't read my writing. 5181. I'll look that up. Sorry.
You get that number again, please?
That's not all.
Not done yet.
Stop.
Okay, the number is 866-255-5158. And it'll say, you know, your message and, you know, call back tomorrow. No, you wait. You wait on the phone and you wait and leave a message. So don't hang up and call the next day. Report your whether it's an odor or you're complaining about the vultures. And if you discover a dead bird anywhere, you're supposed to call the Pennsylvania Game Commission, because they will come out and investigate to see if the animal's deceased.
Like the vultures in your yard?
So, because that, you know, they want to track that.
Back to Porta Potty.
So, and the trash trucks, they're regulated by you know, I think, Jay, you sent an email about the map or something. Did you send something out about the trash collection area? Never mind, I must have sent another email. We get too many emails. We get a lot of emails, so.
You don't. You can block your email address for the township website. You don't get an email, sir.
The landfill has a plan that they're supposed to follow for their trucks to deliver trash to the landfill. So they need to do that. And I guess that's all I have to say on that.
Thank God.
Laura, can I be recognized?
For the record, it's not the landfill
Yes,
trucks.
Victoria.
It's a private truck.
So I just want to reiterate the dog and pony show or the clown show that Mr. Banonis and Mr. Carochi decided to waste everybody's time with this evening. So the idea was that he would cherry pick. The idea was that he would cherry pick one of the DEP reports and try to argue that the DEP reports that say that the landfill does everything wonderful, there are no violations, everything's beautiful and wonderful. That's exactly what they wanted to try to do, but the problem is they can't even find one DEP report. That's the one that cites 2 ongoing violations that went on from February that highlight the odor issues, and we continuously hear he wants to try to blame residents. Oh, it's the residents, they come up with odors, they're just cherry picking things. It's the same residents, complainers, NIMBYs, not in my backyard. The issue is if you read the DEP report, which I'm actually glad it's like part of the, you know, it's part of our agenda this evening. Don't bother. Go to the comments.
Dog and pony show, and now she's clapping for me.
I'm glad that you were so
One day it was a dog and pony show.
because you didn't actually read the comments.
One minute it's a dog and pony
Because
show,
the
the next
comments-
minute she's
The
glad it's on the
comments,
agenda.
I mean, we had two of them tell you that the
That's a
DEP
psychological
knows what they're
disorder.
doing, and I would appreciate being given the floor. So I'll wait till they're done. Are you both done? Because I'm gonna finish my
I'm trying to help
comment
you here.
without being
I'm
interrupted.
trying to help you. Tom is using his mind as a weapon
Okay,
again.
well,
I don't want
I'm
you to do that. He
gonna
has a
sit and wait until
Okay.
you decide that you're gonna not
Move
interrupt.
on to the next
Well, that's-
agenda item.
That's
I'm
irrespectful,
asking
that's
Tom to be
disrespectful.
respectful.
Were
Not
you
use his
speaking,
mind as a weapon,
were you
like you
speaking,
do.
I'm sorry. Were you speaking, I'm sorry.
So when you read the comments, we have 1 and 2 over here say to you, hey, listen, these people are making up odor complaints, they're NIMBYs, they're all these people just trying to contrive issues with the landfill to make you all scared. What they didn't do was actually read, because if you read the comments, you'll see it's not somebody from the audience or somebody that has a biased opinion one way or the other about the landfill. It's a DEP inspector. And what does the DEP inspector, you know, the one that Mr. Banonis, Mr. Croce said, they're the best, they're so good, they do everything. Well, the DEP inspector is the one that identifies the continuous odor. They're the ones that identify the violation. I don't come up with the stuff, I just read what the DEP says. So I think it's ironic that Mr. Banonis and Mr. Croce decided to put this on the agenda so we can highlight to you again why the landfill is a continuous issue in our township. It's sure they can come and bring us money, but what is the offset? At what point in time will people say, I don't want my township to be the garbage dump of the state? We have people arguing, oh no, you're not gonna have a place to put your garbage, it's gonna be like Philadelphia. That's what the two of them argue. Oh no, you guys aren't gonna have a place to put your garbage. Newsflash, the Bethlehem landfill takes over 50% of their garbage from out of state. They're not here for our residents. They're here to make money off of out-of-state garbage. We have a Schrin landfill that's less than 2 miles away from the Bethlehem landfill. We also have the waste management landfill in Plainfield Township. 2 additional landfills in this county alone. So to argue that we're gonna run out of garbage space, and oh my goodness, if the Bethlehem landfill was a good neighbor, they would actually just limit their garbage to our municipality and maybe the surrounding communities like Hellertown, and then we wouldn't have to expand, because you know what? We wouldn't be accepting 70% of our garbage from New York and New Jersey, and then telling the township residents that they have to eat it next time we want to do a big expansion. You can't have it both ways. Either you're going to be a good neighbor and you're going to do it responsibly, or we're going to go off and just make money off of the backs of our township residents. I don't think anybody in this township wants to see half of our township cut off and becoming a garbage wasteland. I don't think we want to have our Sandra Gerger Preserve become the smelling. I mean, you read the comments, it says that there's odor on Sherry Hill Road. Sherry Hill Road is less than a mile from the Lutz Franklin Schoolhouse and also the preserve. So if you think that you're not going to have issues in our township and all of the places that we've put thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars in to preserve and make us a quality place for people to come, I don't know what you're smelling. But you're not smelling the landfill because you have no other purpose other than to come here and tell people false information.
So
tell the truth, read the comments. I implore everybody to read every comment on every DEP report, because it's not going to come from me or Priscilla or a resident. It's going to come from the DEP knows and the DEP inspectors. And they're going to be the ones that identify the ongoing violations. So thank you, Mr. Banonis, for highlighting the fact that we have at least 2 outstanding violations that have not been resolved, that deal with odor, that verify the odor is a DEP verified issue, and that we also have things with daily cover and vectors and everything else. So I appreciate it.
Right. So it went from just for the record, it went from a dog and pony show being on the agenda to glad it was on the agenda to ironic it's on the agenda. The other thing is, she claims to be an attorney. It's a violation of the Interstate Commerce Clause of the U.S. Constitution to ban out-of-state trash. And she doesn't know that. She claims to be an attorney though. Again, for the record, went from a dog and pony show that was on the agenda, to glad it was on the agenda, to ironic it was on the agenda. She did that with her multiple personalities. In about 15 minutes, she did that with her multiple personalities. Again, a dog and pony show was on the agenda, glad it's on the agenda, to ironic.
Hey, enough. We're done with the topic, we're moving on, we're taking no action on that. 5E, discussion and possible action on removal of Russell Sutton from EAC for repeated and flagrant violations of township ordinances.
I'm gonna make a motion to take no action on this agenda.
No, I make a motion that we remove Russ Sutton from the EAC. Second, that's the motion. That's the motion.
His motion was first.
No, it wasn't. No, and it wasn't seconded.
I seconded it.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't, Susie.
The motion came first from.
No, it didn't. It didn't. It wasn't seconded.
A motion came first, and then that's what's before the floor, then it was seconded.
No,
That's the motion before.
So here's from our own township manager. Mr. Sutton, of his own doing, hired a contractor to remove numerous, perhaps as many as 15 to 20 trees, which he claimed, again, not verified by anybody else, he claims were dead, dying, or diseased. He did all of this, again, this is from our township manager, Mr. Finnegan. He, meaning Mr. Sutton, did all of this without filing for the appropriate permits. He needed to file an earth moving permit for the areas of the tree removal, which he did not. Subsequently, he hired a land services company to submit a plan, and we'll talk about the plan later. But we then have a memo from Mr. Finnegan, from Tyler Mitch to Mr. Finnegan, and it conveniently leaves that part out. Okay, that's what happened first. Okay, what happened first was Mr. Sutton, of his own doing, hired a contractor to remove 15 or 20 trees that he claimed were dead or dying. The neighbors dispute that, I believe. He did it without filing the appropriate permits. Well, how does Mr. Mitch's memo start? On February 10th, 2025, Mr. Sletvold filed a complaint regarding the trees that were cut. That's not the first thing that happened. The first thing that happened was, just as Mr. Finnegan said in his email, Mr. Sutton cut down to 50 or 20 trees without a permit. That's the first thing that happened. Not that Mr. Sletvold made a complaint on February 10th. Did you even ask when the trees were cut down? Todd?
Excuse me, Diane Hollowell is trying to harass, it appears trying to harass Mr. Banonis. She's leaning over and saying things to him. I don't know what's going on here. She's trying to sit next to Mr. Banonis.
I think we have audience members shouting out of turn also, so maybe we should just have an order for everybody in the
Laura,
audience.
get control of the meeting. There's a woman who just walked in who's
There's a woman
approaching
that
Mr.
just shouted and
Banonis.
screamed.
Then
We
we
have
move,
lots
and now
of
she's
things
following him,
happening
and then
in
she's
the
leaning
audience.
over and saying things to him. He clearly doesn't want to be bothered by this. So get control and pay attention to what's going on in the audience so people are not harassed.
Right, so Mr. Mitch,
Mr.
Mitch, when did Mr. Sutton cut down to 15 to 20 trees?
Wait, I missed what Mr. Banonis said. He had
I
something
asked
very
her
important.
to please shut up so I can hear Mr.
Yeah,
Banonis.
okay. Can you repeat your response, because Victoria's talking?
That wasn't made clear to me the exact day. I know that they were working on February 10th or possibly the day before, but I don't know the exact date it started.
But that was the first thing that happened chronologically in the story.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's not the first thing on your memo, is it?
No, the memo serves to have the timeline that I'm aware of. I can't really include the days and times of the actions that I'm not aware of.
So, but you went out there, when did you go out there? Did you go out there February 10th?
No,
When did you first go out there?
I'm sure it's in the memo.
I don't see it in the memo. If it is,
I don't
missed it.
recall the day. I mean, I did go out there. I don't recall the day though.
But you'll admit the trees were either being cut down or completely cut down by February 10th of 2025.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So, and then Mr. Sutton and you were in a lot of contact. Is that fair to say?
That is fair to say, yes.
In fact, our township manager says, after numerous iterations at the request of Tyler Mitch, a plan was submitted and attached for review. So you spoke to him numerous times. It says numerous iterations here.
Yep.
that he had to submit a plan.
Right.
Right. And why do you think he didn't have to submit a plan? Why? Yeah.
Why do I think he did?
No, why didn't, what was Mr. Sutton's excuse for not submitting a plan previously to cutting the trees?
I don't recall if he actually had an excuse. I believe he just said that he didn't believe that he needed a permit to cut down trees.
And he's on the EAC.
To my
And he
understanding.
tells other people they can't cut down trees or they can't do this or that on their properties.
I suppose. I don't know what he claims.
Right. So, right. So, and he's a big supporter of the three Democrats up here. All right. So, the other part is, and then our township manager says, as you can see, the plan is deficient in many ways. I think the plan was attached to this email. Some of the plan was attached to this email.
Yeah.
Is that your conclusion as well? That the plan was deficient in many ways?
Yes.
Can you explain some of the many ways?
The two main ways that we're still dealing with are having the portion that was disturbed by removing the trees counted into the limit of disturbance. So when you're calculating the square footage that kicks in needing a grading permit, it's done by limit of disturbance. Typically, removal of a tree would be exempt from the ordinance because it's considered an agricultural activity, but if it's in conjunction with a building permit, it does kick in that requirement. So that's the first issue, is getting that entire area counted as the limit of disturbance. The second issue is the entryway onto the property. They're proposing to enter in off of Snyder Avenue, and the portion that they're proposing, they would have to clear out some trees and some foliage in order to actually access that section. So Jay had made the determination that they would not be able to do that because that's still considered the township's right of way. It's not on Mr. Sutton's property. So he would have to clear part of township property in order to access his property.
And did he start clearing?
The last time that we went out, maybe 2 weeks ago, no, there was no clearing.
Has there been any disturbance on township property?
No,
at this point?
I don't believe so, no.
Since the last time you were out there?
Right, yeah.
Can you give us give the public because the public doesn't know any of this, give the public a sense of how much he disturbed and how much over the limit he was?
On a property of his size of less than 2 acres, I would have to look at the ordinance, but I believe it's something like 1,000 or 2,000 square feet that would kick in grading, and not counting the limit of disturbance that he has on the plan labeled right now is something like 6,500, and that's not counting the additional areas that myself and Brian are requesting he include. So that kind of gives you the general gist of it.
So he disturbed, is it fair to say he disturbed a substantial amount over what was allowed?
Yes.
Substantial by how many thousand square feet?
You're looking at right now probably 5,000 to 6,000 on the calculation right now.
Over the
limit. Over the limit that it would kick in grade.
So he disturbed this member of the EAC who tells other people they can't disturb them. He himself disturbed over 5,000 to 6,000 square feet that he was not allowed to disturb without a permit or an exception to our ordinances.
Right. Yeah. He would have to obtain a grading permit in order to do that, and he has yet to actually obtain that grading.
And this would be 5,000 to 6,000 over the allowed amount.
Yeah.
And he's done it. It's done.
Correct. Yes.
It's done. It's already disturbed.
Yeah. It's the amount that would kick in the grading. So it's not necessarily that he couldn't disturb that area, it's that he did it without going through the grading permit first, where Brian and his team can do the proper review to make sure that there's no adverse effects on his neighbors.
Right. And then also from Mr. Finnegan's email on July 2nd, 2025 at 8:21 in the morning. Mr. Sutton continually contacts staff wanting his permits and also calls Brian Coker at Hanover Engineering, leaving numerous messages. Now, you told him the plan is deficient in many ways. And because he doesn't think the plan should apply to him because he's on EAC and he's a Democrat, Mr. Sutton continually contacts staff wanting his permits and also calls Brian Coker at Hanover Engineering. Now, when he calls staff, obviously township residents are paying staff to answer his calls and to deal with them, right? Sure. And then he's also calling Mr. Coker, who bills the township, when he calls. And yet he's been informed, because it comes up earlier in the thing, that the plan has been deficient in many ways. Has he called you, since he's been notified that his plan has been deficient in many ways, how many times has he called you? Would you ask me?
Probably
100?
I wouldn't say 100, probably 2 or 3.
That's it?
Since
Emails?
2 or 3 times? 2 or 3 times since he submitted the plan, which was maybe a month ago.
Okay, well, how many? This email is dated July 2nd. How many times since July 2nd have you spoken? Have you spoken? Because every time you speak to
I've spoken
him.
to him since July 2nd, but he did call me. So
Okay, how many times since February 10th when Mr. Solangen made the original complaint?
I couldn't tell you the amount of times.
Over 20?
Over 20, yes.
Over 30?
Over 30.
Over 40?
Sure, over 40. And I've spoken to him a good amount of times.
40 or 50? And you work for a company that bills the township, correct? And you bill for your time, right? As right?
Yeah.
Your company bills for your time, and the township has paid your bills, correct?
Yeah. To my knowledge.
We're up to date? We're up to date on the bills, Jay?
That would be an accurate statement.
Okay, so over 40 calls by your own account, township residents have had to pay for this guy in EAC who's been told your plan is deficient in many ways. 40 phone calls, and this guy is still calling staff. What other staff has he called that you're aware of?
I believe that he's called Jay before. As you attested to, he's called Brian, even though he's not 10%.
Right, we got Brian. We got Brian on this. That's called Rick. Mr. Finnegan, how many conversations since February 10th have you approximately had with Mr. Sutton?
I've had at least 3 email communications with Mr. Sutton. I can tell you, reference to Mr. Cucker. Mr. Cucker has forwarded the voicemails Mr. Sutton left. And Mr. Cucker has not picked up the phone and talked to Mr. Sutton.
So to your knowledge, he hasn't billed us, even though he listened to those emails though, which takes time. So and then he forwarded to you. Do we know how many times that there were forwarded emails?
I have 3 forwarded emails.
Okay. Now,
The voicemails.
And how many phone calls to you since February 10th? From either Mr. Coker or Mr. Sutton?
Mr. Cucker has not called me to discuss this
Right.
over a telephone. He has forwarded electronically the voicemails. And I have had 2 or 3 email communications with Mr. Sutton as a result of the voicemails left for me. Because I believe if you respond electronically, there's a paper trail, and therefore my words can't
All right.
be distorted.
So you're also billing the township by the hour. How many visits have you made to Mr. Sutton's property or Mr. Solangen's property?
How many?
Visits, site visits.
I think I'm probably up to 4 site visits.
So 4 site visits that you bill the township your regular rate for. Right. And how long do those visits last?
I would say the first one, we were with the neighbors, and that was probably half hour, 45 minutes.
And Mr. Mitch was with you on all these days?
Mr. Mitch was with me.
Also billing the township residents, township taxpayers for his time, correct?
On that occasion that I'm referencing, the 45-minute visit was with his neighbors, and Mr. Mitch was with me. My 3 other visits have been by myself.
Okay. All right, so now we have Mr. Mitch, Mr. Coker, and our township manager spending time on that, this costing township taxpayer money. For Mr. Sutton, you clearly violated our ordinances and is still contacting staff. Mr. Finnegan, what other staff has Mr. Sutton contacted? You say in your letter, continues to contact staff wanting his permits. So who has called? Has he talked to Molly? Has he talked to Stacy?
He has been in the office and talked to the receptionist, and he's also talked to Molly. I do not believe Carol or Stacy, to the best of my knowledge, have had a conversation.
How many times has he been to the office regarding this matter since February 10th, 2025?
I can only comment since I started, and I believe it's 3 or 4 times.
Okay, so, he continually wants his permits. Can I ask, under what rationale does he want the permits, Mr. Mitch?
I don't think I can attest to his rationale as to why he should have his permits.
There is no rationale.
Why is there no rationale for this?
He hasn't really given a reason, a coherent reason as to why he should be able to avoid the processes that we've explained to him.
He just expects he can avoid the process because he's a member of the EAC and he has 3 Democratic friends on council.
He's never said that to me. But
What is your thought on that? What is your insight? He's never said it. He's never said it.
my insight as to why he thinks that he shouldn't have to get permits
Yes.
or anything. I mean, it's sometimes residents say things like that because they don't fully understand the requirements of the ordinance.
But he's been explained to that already, and he's still continuing, over 40 times, and he's still continually, you said you had 40 phone calls with him, and I assume you explained that.
I mean, I had, about 30 interactions with
Okay.
him, all right, phone calls, emails, and I'm also talking about, when I spoke to his contractors, and I explained all this stuff to everybody as well.
Right, but he still continues to call.
Right.
I assume you explained that to him in one of your first 3, 4, 5 conversations with him,
Right.
that he needed a permit.
Yep.
But yet there are 35 other communications. So why does he think he should be allowed to do this without a permit? Or should just be issued his permit?
He's never really given me a reason as to why.
He just doesn't think he should apply it.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suppose, right, that's what I suppose too. It's not a wild explanation or anything like that. I think you're right. So this person should not be sitting in judgment of other people when they come before the EAC with plans to do something, whether it's the 21 apartments across the street there that's going to be some variances, do some disturbing of properties. He doesn't think it applies to him because he thinks he has 3 Democratic friends on council, and they're not going to remove them. If someone should clearly be removed, it should be this guy. We remove people for not attending meetings. This guy says the hell with township ordinances. The hell with disturbing 5,000 more square feet than I should have. I'm going to do it, and I deserve to do it, and that's it. And I imagine they're going to vote not to remove him. In fact, the motion that Victoria tried that thing before I got mine in. They clearly want to protect him, so they'll protect. What they're telling you tonight is, if you're a Democrat, support them. They'll protect you in whatever you want to do, and let you serve on boards that judge others, especially since you have their point of view. They won't remove you, but they won't remove you. So it's hypocritical. It's false. Now there's another thing here. It says. He says, Mr. Sutton's backyard, based on my last visual inspection, and this is again from Mr. Finnegan, so it did his visual, has tree trunks and debris laying all over his rear yard, a township paper street, and at least one neighbor's property. So how did the tree trunks, he put truck, the email says trucks, but I think he meant trunks. I think he meant tree trunks, and debris laying all over his rear yard. Now, how did that get there? Did Mr. Sutton put that there?
I would assume that he was the one.
Or his landscaping company that did it for him, right?
Yeah.
But at his direction, and the township didn't give him permission to put tree trunks and debris over a township paper street, is that correct?
That's correct.
He has no permission to do that.
Right.
And this is the last inspection, it hasn't been removed yet.
To my knowledge, no.
Have we asked him to remove it?
No.
Why not?
can't remove it because we have not issued a permit, that he can continue the process of what he's attempting to do until he gets a grading permit and a permit to install his solar panels.
So now because he doesn't have a permit, we have a township paper street blocked with tree trucks and debris, is that correct?
That would be an accurate statement, but the paper street is also, has trees growing up in it. And some of the calipers, I would say, are about 3 feet wide, so it's not really blocking any public access.
No, Mr. Slangen's children ride their bikes out that way, out that side. Isn't Mr. Slangen's house there?
Not where the trees would be laying. The trees are laying between.
Just because it's 3 feet doesn't mean people don't walk and ride bikes, is that correct?
Where the trees are laying are not between Mr. Slangen's property and Mr. Sutton's. It would be between Mr. Sutton's and the gentleman who begins with Rick, whoever, I can't remember Rick's last
So,
name.
Mr. Finnegan, your July 2nd email says, Mr. Sutton's backyard, based on my last visual inspection, has tree trunks and debris laying all over his rear yard, comma, a township paper street, and at least one neighbor's property.
That is
Now, you're
correct.
just saying,
That is correct. The paper
what
street.
neighbor's property is that? Is that Mr. Slangen's property?
No, it's the neighbor whose first name is Rick. Do you remember the gentleman's last name?
No, I don't remember his last name.
Mr. Solangen's property would be to the east of west of Mr. Sutton's, and this individual's would be north of Mr. Sutton's property.
Okay. And then you end this email with, Mr. Sutton's actions are self-imposed, and Mr. Sutton's actions are self-imposed, and he's being treated the same as all applicants. He wanted to share this information, so there's where we stand on the issue, and everyone has the same understanding. You know, at a minimum, and again, they won't do it because they're, you know, this guy's a political supporter of them, so they won't do it. At a minimum, this guy should be suspended from EAC until all of this is done. He either gets his permits and submits a plan to the township. There's no reason this guy should be judging others and what they're doing and making recommendations to this council when he blatantly refuses to abide by township ordinances. On your memo, let me see here. I had a question on your memo then. So we're other concerned that February 10th, the trees were cut down on or near February 10th. So now we're end of July and this process is still ongoing. And Mr. Sutton came to an earlier township meeting. He's not here tonight, for the record. Mr. Sutton's not here tonight, although he had plenty of well, listen, I may be taking some of Mr. Mitch's time that he is billing the township for, but I'm not contacting him 40 times. This is my first discussion with him. So, you know, I didn't contact him 40 different times and bill the township on that. So give me a little leeway here. Give me a little leeway here. Give me a little leeway here. And this is the first conversation we've really had on this.
We're gonna be ready to shut up so you can speak.
The more she cuts me off, the more I'm gonna talk. And you can gavel all you want.
Going to go.
Gavel all you want. You can gavel all you want. I can take, I
We're not
guarantee you this.
micromanaging the zoning
I know you're
department.
not.
It's not our job.
I'm not asking. It's not micromanaging the zoning. This is about a guy on EAC that's judging others. Now,
EAC does not judge
Mr.
people.
Sutton, they make recommendations. Mr. Sutton did attend an earlier meeting, and you had an interaction with him out in the hallway. And what was that interaction about?
He was asking about what he needed to do to get permits.
Okay, and that would have been in February or March.
Somewhere around there. Yeah, I don't recall the exact date of the thing, but yes.
So your memo goes from February 10th, although we know the trees were cut down before that, to now, it goes all the way to July 11th. And Mr. Sutton had an attorney, and he changed attorneys. His new attorney is Mr. Asti, right? Who didn't he represent Victoria and her family in the landfill lawsuit? If I'm mistaken, please correct me. I think he was. So now he's hired an attorney who is politically aligned with the 3 Democrats on council to try and get this resolved. And is a friend of Ms. Optop Cordero and has represented her parents. So we have a conflict there too, I think. So Mr. Sutton, so a grading permit application was sent over to Hanover Engineering for review. That was on June 10th. What was Mr. Sutton's response to that? Or his attorney's response to that? To Hanover Engineering sent over a grant permit application, something he should have done in early February or January. So they sent one on June 10th. Now you had been advising him he needs to make a permit application way before June 10th, weren't you? Right. You've been in contact with him. Yeah. So I mean, part of these 35 to 40 calls, we're probably talking about a permit application that he has to file, right? Yeah. Right. Okay. And he refused to pick one up, or did you give him one, or?
He had the application sheets, to my knowledge, and they're on the website, and, you know, I don't know why.
Can I just have a point of order, because I think these questions have all been asked. You went through the whole timeline from February to now, you asked them a lot of questions. Can we just get to the point of whatever you're trying to make, and then
I have one more point, and then I think Jason has one. So Mr. Finnegan informed Mr. Asti that access was virtually impossible and would not be permitted at this time. And that's access for what, Mr. Finnegan?
The plans that were submitted with the grading permit do not definitively outline whose property is whose property. So, as pointed out in Hanover Engineering's letter, June 27th, on page 3, under general comments, applicant shall demonstrate if they have allowable use of Snyder Avenue access. So they need to satisfactorily answer that question for Hanover Engineering based on meets and bounds where Mr. Sutton's property aligns with Paper Street.
Well, in closing, I want to say I'm sorry the township staff has been badgered by Mr. Sutton, and I'm sorry the township residents have had to pay a lot of tax dollars for a matter that he should have just filed a permit for and have plans that met our ordinances or ask for an exception to the ordinances. But to have a guy like this making recommendations on what other people can do on their properties to council as a member of EAC, he should be removed from EAC or at a minimum suspended until he gets this all under control. And you know, the 3 Democrats here will defend him because you know he's hired an attorney they like. He votes the way they want him to on EAC. He supports them on the landfill. You know, and all this nonsense. But it's a disgrace. He should be removed from really all township.
They said that 5 times already.
He
Let's
should
move
also be
on.
removed from that as well. No, Jason's turn now. So.
That's what I said, let's move on.
No, right before, Laura?
Yes.
Try not to interrupt.
Well, we heard public comment from Professor Drew Germanowski, and I would like to ask him a question, but he seems to have skipped out of here to avoid the heat after he tried to cast shade for Russ Sutton.
People don't come here to be grilled.
Would you stop interrupting me, please?
Can we just keep your comments without insulting people? How about that?
He's the one who knifed Sandy Yerber in the back figuratively and removed her from the EAC.
Sandy
We
was
have
on.
Jennifer Helton here from the EAC. She's sitting over here in T-Mac blue corner with Chad Hamburglar. Chad Heimbacher. Maybe she could tell us what the role of EAC is.
No, this is not the place for you to ask people questions.
All right, then I'll answer the question myself.
We're not in
Pennsylvania,
court.
environmental advisory committees exist as part of many municipal governments and are made up of appointed volunteer members that work specifically on environmental issues, and says, get away from me. Get out of my personal space, you disgusting person. Get out of my space.
I want a
Get
clarification.
out of my space
If
and
you
stop
are,
interrupting
if you are
me.
reading from our township or just something off of like ChatGPT.
Go to the podium. She's a child.
Because
You're so unprofessional,
I'm just
child. You're
pointing out,
unprofessional,
if we're gonna be
You're an
reading
unprofessional
rules, I think
child.
where we started with is what the township
You're
rules
acting
are.
like a child.
And he's picking
You're
something
acting
off
like a
of,
child.
like Google search.
Start over. You're acting like
Google
a child.
search.
You're acting like a child.
It's a Google search. I mean, ChatGPT, which one was it that made it?
Okay, let's.
You want to move on, or you won't say anything to her. You won't say anything to her.
We're gonna have a recess soon, and you can sit down, stop there, mister.
Tom, can you hear me? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I'll start again before I was so rudely interrupted by
Childish, a child.
Pennsylvania Environmental Advisory Committees exist as part of many municipal governments and are made up of appointed volunteer members that work specifically on environmental and sustainability issues. The committee's main function is to advise elected officials like a city council or board of supervisors on issues affecting the natural resources within the municipality.
Read from chat.
Shut up.
Okay, so.
No, you're not. I was coming up here and speak. He had to leave ever because she wouldn't let, she was bad.
I'm not done.
What are you running for?
Clowns. So that's the purpose of the EAC, and it's very clear to me that Mr. Sutton does not have the requisite qualifications to serve in that capacity. It's a volunteer position, and he admittedly has violated the township ordinances and has required extensive township resources to be devoted to his nonsense. And not only that, we have this memo that Tyler, you were kind enough to put together. Not only did you approach, so Mr. Sutton started this nonsense in or around early February of 2025. And you had some interaction with him with regard to that. And what does he do on March 7th, 2015, less than a few weeks after you got involved in this? You go out, you visit the property, and you find that Mr. Sutton had performed more work without a permit. And a stop work order was issued because of what your findings were. So not only did he violate it, he gave the collective middle finger to the township, and then you had to issue a stop order because he gave the middle finger to the township and said, I'm not going to listen to what you're telling me to do. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to do because I know I've come from these three clowns that are in this council. So then we also have February 19, 2015. You, Tyler, to your credit, notified Nick DiPaolo of the Northampton County Conservation District of the activity on Mr. Sutton's property, and he indicated that a field inspection would be performed. Now, it's interesting here, right? So you're the one serving your role as the township zoning officer, and you're the one that notifies them. But if you go back, if you remember folks, if you go back in time here, it's not that far long ago, what does Priscilla do? Because her neighbor Rocky Vecino has activity on his property that's legal. She goes out and she contacts the conservation district to try to get her neighbor in trouble, but she won't go after Russ Sutton, who is clearly in violation of the township ordinances here. She sits on her hand with her mouth shut and doesn't do anything about it, but when it's somebody that she doesn't like, for political reasons or whatever, she's quick to pick up the phone and call the conservation district to try to weaponize them. Okay? I am on topic, so shut up. Would you stop? Would you just shut your ignorant mouth?
You know when she interrupts.
Can you stop your ignorant mouth? I'm touching her.
That's enough from everybody. That's
so
enough.
then what do you have? You got Priscilla. Well, Jay Finnegan just a few weeks ago was on vacation, and what is she doing? Well, she knows Jay's on vacation, and what's she doing? She's emailing about a porta potty and Polk Valley that's back up to the top.
You know what, we're way off topic,
No,
and you are not making a point. Make your point and let's get moving on.
Here's the point, so shut your mouth too.
There is no point.
Shut your mouth and let me finish making my point
You
because you
can
don't
stop
like it.
telling me to shut
You
my
can
mouth,
stop interrupting me
okay?
because you're
I'm running
ignorant,
the meeting.
You're an ignorant,
Make
rude
your
person,
point.
stop interrupting me.
Say that again?
You're an ignorant, rude person, stop
And why
interrupting
do
me.
you say that to me?
Because you are ignorant and rude and keep
Are
interrupting
you
me.
trying to hurt my feelings?
No, I'm trying
Does
to
it
get you
make
to shut your
feel
mouth so you
good?
can finish
Are you
speaking.
proud of your words?
No, I'm actually embarrassed to be sitting
Okay,
up here with you because
well-
I think you're an ignorant, rude person.
Okay, great.
So getting
Make
back
your
to Jay
point.
Finnegan.
told you I'm not understand this one.
While Jay's on vacation, Priscilla sends a message to Jay.
Can I
There's
just
a crisis.
I'm gonna call
There's
for
a crisis
order
with.
again because
There's a
we're
crisis
off
with
topic.
vultures. There's vultures on the loose in Steel City,
Has
and why are there
nothing to do with
vultures on the
Okay,
loose?
now we're talking
No.
about other
No,
topics
we're not.
again.
No, we're
Yes,
not.
you
No,
are.
we're
You're
not.
talking
No,
about
we're not.
vultures, you're
Because Russ
talking
Sutton
about
came here.
porta potties.
No, I'm talking about the vultures because
So-
vultures roost in trees, and the vultures weren't a problem until Russ Sutton cut down the
Vultures
trees.
and porta potties
No.
have nothing to do
That's
with
the
this
issue.
agenda item.
That is not the
It
issue.
is.
The
How do you know?
vultures
Are you an aviary
I've
expert?
seen
You know
plenty
about.
of
Oh,
vulture
now you're an expert. You're not a
pictures
tea
over the years,
expert, and now you're a
okay?
vulture expert.
We're
What else are
moving
you?
on.
No, we're not moving on. I'm not done. I'm not done here. I'm not done here. So you have a member of council taking up the township manager's time while he's on vacation. While he's on vacation, complaining about vultures that are in the area because this guy cut down the trees where they live. The guy cut down the trees where the vultures live. There was never a problem.
We don't have the right motion. We're taking a roll call on the motion to not take an action to remove Russ Sutton from EAC.
Then shut it down when you don't like it. Cover it up for Russ Sutton. Cover it up for your buddy at the Lorax who put signs all over here with your collective landfill derangement syndrome. That's what it is. Your landfill derangement syndrome and your fight cover for him.
Defending the Democratic
Clowns. You people are so dirty and so transparent.
So much
You know,
time
I
here.
think you look like that picture I saw of the porta potty at Polk Valley. When I look at that, I think of you. It's a spitting image of the three of you.
Yes.
I thought it was my, if my motion was on the floor, it's ready to remove them.
No, we're.
Then what was the motion? Then what was the
Miss
motion?
Ray.
What's the motion?
Yes.
You voted yes for removal.
Mr. Banonis.
To vote to remove Russ Sutton? I'll vote
No,
yes.
the motion is to not take any action.
Take no action.
That wasn't seconded. Who seconded it?
I did.
You
So
said
that's
no, you did.
10 times.
Not before my motion.
These clowns just want to cover it up. I'll never vote for their cover up. Transparency.
The cover-up.
That's a no.
The answer is a no.
Remember,
Thank you.
and remember, there's
There's
a candidate out here that supports the cover-up. His name's Trump Heimbuckler.
Benefit, I would have loved to.
Remember when you vote. Remember when you vote. Remember when you vote in December, they're gonna cover it up. Cover it up.
We're finishing the roll call.
It's Victoria's talking.
passes 3-2.
Victoria's talking.
There you go.
Remember,
Mr. Sutton, if you're watching out there, thank your friends.
Yeah.
Thank your friends for covering up for you. Keep cutting down those trees.
Yeah, keep
Nothing
cutting
will
them.
happen to you.
Can you
And
be
everything else,
quiet?
do whatever the hell you want.
You both
Do whatever the hell you want. There are no
recognized.
rules.
We are moving
No,
on.
screw me, not for me.
Item 5F, reimbursement of insurance deductible to Gazuzian and Associates for an alleged Sunshine Act violation.
Thank you. In court file number 48 CV 2024-4294, I was suing my official capacity as Lower Saucon Township solicitor. The township obtained.
Mr. Gazuzian, you are not close enough to the microphone.
Thank you. In docket number 48 CV 2024-4294, I was sued in my official capacity as the Lower Saucon Township solicitor. The township was also sued. Township obtained counsel. I was required or forced to obtain separate counsel through my insurance coverage. I paid a $2,500 deductible. As part of the case, the court found in favor of both myself as the solicitor as well as the township. There was a court order which has been part of the packet that's before you that was filed on May 14, 2025. I had to pay out of my own pocket the $2,500 deductible. I'm requesting that the township reimburse me for the $2,500 deductible that was paid.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Can I be recognized, Laura?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that it's,
I can go on whenever I feel like.
Free for all. Free for all.
I think it's imperative to just kind of do a quick review of how we get to this place. When we talk about things, instead of, you know, attacking residents and cherry picking people and trying to make examples of them. I mean, there's lots of people in our township that have different various zoning and codes violations, and we don't waste the township council's time and our staff's time and money to bring them each here before us and, you know, hang them with a noose. I don't do that.
Mr.
Some people
wasting your
on
township staff time. It's clear.
some people
And
on our
continues,
council want to waste your time with that. But when we look at this, you know, from the very beginning, it was, again, another dog and pony show by Mr. Banonis and Mr. Carochi coming out here and crying wolf oh no, residents, the township did something wrong, I'm not gonna represent you, I'm not gonna be a council person, I'm gonna tell you to sue us, every time. Every time I get a chance, the second word out of my mouth is sue me, sue the township. Because we wanna drive up legal fees, we wanna waste people's time, we wanna churn everything in the court system. We don't actually want to represent our residents. So what happened? Mr. Banonis and Mr. Croce came out here and put on a big production. It was a spectacle. It needs an Academy Award, claiming that there was some kind of sunshine violation, and because they just love the landfill and they always like to feed them. They like to feed them like, speculation and things. They feed them and say, you should sue us, landfill, because they just violated stuff and you should sue us. So, shocker, because, every time Mr. Banonis says sue somebody, he gets the landfill to come and sue us. So he likes to bring on litigation to the township. He likes to cost us money. So when he came out here, it's part of a public meeting, Mr. Banonis, you came out here and said you should sue us because there was a violation.
I had the township, I had the landfill.
So you said that in a public meeting.
Liar.
So as we move forward, I can't wait. As we move forward, it's again, the landfill sues us because Mr. Banonis claimed there was a sunshine violation, and guess what? It was laughed at in court. I know, if they don't like to keep everything transparent here, but what's happening is he wants to drive our litigation costs, waste your taxpayer dollars on costing our attorneys to do things, because he claims things that happened that never happened. There was never a sunshine violation. The court affirmed that any claim that the landfill had was moot. And in addition to that, it was unheard of that any landfill would actually, litigant equals landfill. Any litigant would actually sue a solicitor for actions taken by its governing body. So they went after Mr. Gazouzian, I don't know why, but Mr. Gazouzian had to defend himself in his individual capacity in addition to representing the township. So the court threw that out. The funny thing is, just a couple months ago, I think when Mr. Banonis actually attended the council meeting, because he didn't attend last council meeting, but the one before that, he started claiming, he was upset that, of course, these allegations were unfounded and that was thrown out of court. That was a decision in May by Judge Corey. So what did he do? He came out here and said, it's appealable, make sure you appeal, go ahead, appeal. And what happened? You did. So it was during the council meeting, I'm sure we'll pull up the minutes. So when that happened, what happened? They didn't actually appeal because it's what's called an interlocutory order. So what everybody should know is you can't just appeal a decision that's in the middle of litigation. You have to wait till it's a final order. But they didn't do that. The landfill withdrew their complaint without prejudice. They didn't ask for a decision of finality from the court, Judge Corey, and they appealed. Well, shocker, we just got notice that in fact, the whole thing is going to get thrown out because they didn't follow procedure. So they're appealing again on something that's going to get thrown out of court, and the judge has indicated they didn't ask for a decision of finality, that his opinion was interlocutory, and that the case should have moved forward. But they didn't file an amended complaint either. Bottom line is, we're churning legal fees. Mr. Banonis is, he likes to talk about how he's a Mr. Fancy Lawyer and all this stuff. He likes to, help all of his friends out. I guess he likes to help everybody because he's always telling everybody to sue. So here we go, another appeal, another claim by Mr. Banonis that's clearly not correct. We see that Judge Corey ruled against the landfill, and I think it's appropriate that we reimburse our staff for their time that they had to waste on the allegations that Mr. Banonis did that he didn't get his Academy Award for. That's what I have to say. So everybody should know we're winning and Mr. Banonis is not. He's costing us money, so we can't wait for when he's off council.
I'd like a point of clarity, we didn't sue anybody, did we?
Okay.
Right now, you're
She said it so well.
May I be
I
recognized?
had 3 people trying to talk at the same
May I be
time.
recognized? May I be recognized? Can you hear me? You're looking at me with that blank, dull stare. May I be recognized, Laura? Can you hear me and see me? I'm asking, may I be recognized? You're just looking through me.
I can go in whatever order
everybody.
Maybe if they're badgering you, you don't have to
You need
recognize
emergency-
You can
them.
go next.
Thank you for recognizing me and understanding the question. It's very simple. May I be recognized? Mr. Gutsuzian, am I a party in the litigation against you?
You're not a named party.
Correct. Who is the named party in the litigation against you in the township?
At 2024-04-292, it's the Bethlehem Landfill Company.
Correct. I am not employed by the Bethlehem Landfill Company, am I?
I don't know.
Do I work for the Bethlehem Landfill Company?
No,
Have I ever disclosed that on my conflict report that I work for the Bethlehem Landfill Company?
I've never read your conflict report.
Okay. Jay, you have my conflict report. Am I employed by the Bethlehem Landfill Company?
Mr. Banonis, I have not read your conflict report either.
Okay. Well, I can assure you that I'm not, all right? I'm not. So that's a lie, all right? So, second of all, the order that was entered in this case, that was not a final order, was it, Mr. Gutsuzian?
Are you asking me my legal opinion as to whether it was? Because it was an order.
Was it a final order?
It was an order.
Was it a final order that is appealable?
According to Judge Corey? No.
Okay. Is that being challenged by the landfill?
That's, the case is on appeal.
Okay, so the case is on appeal, so it's not a final order. Okay, thank you.
No. Yeah, case is on appeal.
Assuming it's not final.
So it is a final order then?
No.
It's on appeal.
One can appeal an order, and then whether it's a final order is a subsequent determination.
So we can be clear that it's on appeal. So you're asking for reimbursement before this case has been fully disposed of, is that correct?
I'm asking for reimbursement in accordance with the judge's order dated, that was filed May 14th.
And the case has not been
And
fully
then,
disposed
pardon
of?
me, sir, and then the subsequent one that was filed, I believe, a day or two after.
If and when you are found to be liable in this case for the landfill's damages in whole or in part, and assuming that these three ladies will be reimbursing you for your fees because they like to provide cover for you, will you agree to return to the township the $2,500 that they will likely be giving to you?
No.
Okay. Why not?
No. Simple as that.
No. So you're going to take the money, and if you're found to be liable, you're still not going to give the money back. Is that what you're saying?
Answer is still the same, sir.
Okay. Same answer. So, Jay, you were kind enough to provide to us a summary here. Jay, you were kind enough to provide the summary, this spreadsheet, and I think this was requested by Victoria. And this asks for total legal spend by the township.
It was me, Jason.
Oh, okay. And you two are so alike, it's hard to keep
Just
track.
the email.
Yeah. So this request for the total legal spend in 2025, year to date, that would be through June 30th, Jay, or is it through the date that you prepared this?
It's through bills paid as of last Thursday, so whatever.
So about half the year, right? About half the year, is that fair?
Correct.
All right, so in the half of the year, is G&A Associates, Susan and Associates?
That would be an accurate statement.
Accurate or inaccurate?
Accurate.
So that's correct. So in 6 months, roughly 6 months, Susan and Associates have billed and been paid by the township $105,595. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And Mr. Gutsuzian is asking us now to pay him $2,500 for work that was done in his professional capacity for which he has been sued personally. Is that correct? Jay?
That would appear to be correct.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. There's no final order. Mr. Gutsuzian wants $2,500 more than the $106,000, roughly $106,000 that he's received. And he's not agreeing to return that money to the township if and when he is found to be liable for the landfill's damages here. That's all you need to know. There's your tax dollars going out the door. But I do appreciate that Mr. Gutsuzian at least put his malpractice carrier on notice like I previously requested. Thank you for doing that, Mr. Gutsuzian. I hope that doesn't have to happen again.
Can I ask a question?
No, you can speak.
Yes.
Maybe for Jay.
Oh, yeah. So looking at the spreadsheet, the one for 2023 total, it has conditional use, $15,400. That's what we paid Link to do the conditional use hearing for the landfill. That went nowhere. Did Link reimburse us for that?
Yeah, I'd like to know, we had various lawyers doing conditional use and zoning in 2023 for the zoning ordinance that was thrown out by the court, and that was a final order, never appealed, and it was over $15,000. Did we ever get reimbursed by those attorneys for that?
Did you request it, Priscilla? You were on council at the time.
You should have. You were council
No
president.
one complained about it.
No, you're complaining about it here. You're complaining about a $2,500
I'm bringing that to the
deductible.
township.
You're complaining about a $2,500 deductible when you wasted over $20,000 on a zoning ordinance that was overturned by our prior solicitor. You never asked him for the reimbursement. You complain over and over and over again how we got rid of a solicitor when the solicitor wasted us $20,000, never mind the $250,000 wasted on library litigation. So,
I mean, do you ever hear?
I mean, we're talking about, apples and oranges here.
says something you don't like, you say, why are you yelling?
That's all the time. I mean.
He just can't handle the truth.
Stacy, can you turn on the volume on the microphone?
You
It's
don't
really
get to us
offensive.
anymore, Jason. You're just, you don't get to us anymore. You have an issue.
I'm good with the roll
I
call,
don't
Laura.
know where near
You
you.
have an issue.
You do. You are the issue.
I'm good with the roll call, Laura.
No, I didn't speak yet. I didn't speak yet. All right, so,
Yeah, do you want to be
yeah,
recognized?
I want to be recognized, yes.
Okay.
All right, so how I look at this is, Treadwell officers were paid a little over $63,000 in 2023, and this is a solicitor with 20 years' experience. Mr. Goodsuzian had no experience as a township solicitor, none whatsoever, in 2024, I believe his first year here, and he billed over twice as much, $144,308. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's correct. Okay. And then he also had this Curtis and Heath. I think they're the labor attorneys. Is that correct?
No, that was the attorney that lasted about a week and a half.
Oh, that's right. All right. That's right. I forgot. He got 18 days. Right.
No, it was less than that.
Less than that. In one meeting. Right. Less than one meeting. Priscilla's
He saw the writing on the wall, he knew.
and Mr. Goodsuzian and Associates is had a schedule for that this year. It probably close to 200,000 or more this year. So much more expensive than Link with not nearly the experience. Like I said, Link was a solicitor for 20 years, and Mr. Goodsuzian had no township solicitor experience and all that. And what makes it even worse is like, Mr. Goodsuzian is a resident of the township. He's just like taking money from township residents and neighbors. It's unbelievable. Without any guilt whatsoever to ask for $2,500 more that he won't return if he is found liable. What other law firms are you affiliated with, Mr. Goodsuzian?
Okay, we're not having Q&A
Are
here.
are there any other law firms that you're affiliated with that are receiving township funds, Mr. Goodsuzian? Any other law firms you're affiliated with that are receiving township funds?
From Lower Saucon?
Yes.
It would appear on the list.
Okay. What other law firms? Oh, right, there are other law firms on this list. What other law firms are you
Going
affiliated
through
with?
the list, I'm not affiliated with Eckert Seaman. I'm not affiliated with Clemens Richer. I'm not affiliated with Treadwell. I'm not affiliated with Curtis and Kiefer. I'm not affiliated with Gallagher Bell.
We had a right to know, what was it? We had a right to know that said where you chastise I guess your office manager or Ms. Ackerman about using, you wanted her to use another firm's email address for you. So you're affiliated with other firms?
Not with anybody that provides services to Lower Saucon.
Yeah, do they provide services to Hellertown?
I don't provide services.
No, are any of the law firms you're affiliated with
I
provide
think,
services to
point of
Hellertown?
order, we're not discussing this topic.
Ah, there we go. Now the answer. Now the answer. The cover up the
I'm tired of wasting everybody's time here.
So there's a right to know email for everybody's not. There's a right to know email
Cover up is the
where Mr. Goodsuzian
$250,000
chastises his manager,
Mr. Banonis'
Ms. Ackerman,
friends.
for sending an email
That's the cover
from
up.
that apparently is his email
links.
from another
Failed
law
zoning
firm.
ordinance.
Apparently from another law firm. And I just have some questions about that. How he's affiliated with this other law firm? Does this other law firm provide services to Hellertown? Because there could be possible conflicts of interest. And I would want to know if the township is being billed.
That has nothing to do with this particular case that we're talking about.
He refuses to answer these questions. He refuses to answer these questions. It's a simple question.
Everybody get their comments
What other
in,
law
because
firms
I'm
is
going
he
to call for a
affiliated?
roll call.
And again, Mr. Goodsuzian is charging us about twice as much last year, and it looks like it'll be almost 3
I'm going to call
times.
for a roll call.
I just want to clarify that the motion was Ms. Sletvold and the second was Ms. De Leon.
That's what I wrote down.
Okay.
It doesn't matter, just pick two.
That's right.
Two voting blocks.
Yes.
Mr. Banonis,
No.
Ms. Sletvold Cordero,
Cost of doing business.
Mr. Carochi?
No.
Ms. De Leon?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-2.
Can we take a break?
$2,500.
All right.
Township taxpayer, his neighbor's money.
Priscilla needs a break.
His
Yeah,
neighbor's money.
and I will call for a recess. The time is 9:18. We can do a 10-minute break.
10 minutes.
Thank you.
Wow, nap time. Are they complaining us the meeting's broken? David.
No, I go to that.
Stacy, do you still on there?
It's on, but I have the microphone off, so nobody can see us, like,
They just need to.
they see our mouths. I don't know if you can pause the, I don't know if you can do that or not.
I don't think you can, you have to like log off and then log back on.
Yeah, so it's
So
just.
that makes sense.
Yeah, the microphone is off.
That makes sense.
You know what, I'll probably go see.
You're not cool.
Victoria.
It's okay.
I haven't rifled it yet.
Looking for love in all the wrong places.
Bring a pillow with us.
Yeah. First shots. Yeah. Like I said, I disagree. People would not be like. Yeah. It's like we're all
What's going to happen here?
Next week, not Monday.
Did he leave? This guy leave? Yeah. I'm sure you're at he gets food and then he'll come back. So he sits his stuff.
It's not like we don't.
Yeah.
Good, how are you? Good.
I'm sorry. No, just one.
I'm like, I'm shot.
Is it, do we have to pay that on this, or?
You said you were your sister.
Yeah, next storm. She's like, yeah, my brother and I said, just call you, kids, third sister, that international parent. She's like, you know, Dave, my brother, right? I was like, Dave, I was like, no. I was like, I've known Dave for years, I've known Leslie for years, I never knew they were brother and sister. Last week I was on listening, so we're sitting in Judy's kitchen. I've known her forever. She's like, I'm just coming back.
So you get the
my brother's lunch. He walks in, and I'm like, it's on my brother. And I'm like, this is like your time. It's so weird. I was like, you know, this person.
Oh.
You know, like, why didn't you guys complete it? You know, and it's
What,
like,
an
that's the
email?
third time, like, it took your heart.
Oh, because it's on the, yeah, because it's on the
Yeah,
agenda.
I said that to Dave, I was like, she was my gym teacher, and I was the same Teresa, since I was around. And you have to say it on the square. That's about it. Six.
Yeah, just us, yeah. Carol, I think, is the only one where, she's the only one that has a dot for whatever reason, I don't know.
I could.
Whatever.
One day, so one day,
Yeah.
right now, she's retired, so she helps the kids a lot.
Yeah.
I don't even think you picked up
I'm
on
watching
it.
it. She's so short staffed, you know what I mean? It's just, I'm gonna switch all our stuff down to John.
Yeah.
I have Summit John, and I do all the.
He did, he was, he did a lot of it,
I
yeah.
did a lot of stuff that like, if they're doing their house and their race or other
Minutes.
I would thought that was small farms.
I know. Look, everyone.
Well, no, like we were from CVS, my mom worked with CVS. She was awesome. Yeah, she worked very young. Now she is like his best friend. Yeah. I mean, and I didn't mean it this way. You're like better than me. And I didn't mean it that way. You know, it's like when you're a mom, you're in a letter yeah. That's a great one. Everybody's related, even if you don't know. You don't know the it's like, I mean, it's just their time.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, he didn't tell me.
That's when you know. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you sent it, and I sent you a separate email, so it's just an FYI. Yeah, so I think biggest topic here, I think it's the same that you are. So the handwriting is the same. Yeah, I don't even hear that before, but I
Is there anything left?
My husband and I were probably 5 games from his kids, I was here 2 games, so we were around, we're a lot older than that. I'm not.
Hey, you're home, let's hang out. You know what Oh, yeah, so if I should, yes, if I should, they're gonna really serious with them. And you're like, I'm gonna try, I'm like, I can't go by now. Like, if I'm not sitting here, I'm gonna sit in my truck and just give out some music. I'm just
That's all right.
I try to be ready in long sometimes, but I just don't want to be that guy. And I sit around for one day. I'm ready right now. You know, we're just close it. Look at this, look at this. Okay, hold on.
All right, so the time is 9:28. We're going to reconvene our meeting. We are at item 5H. Resolution, no, we're at 5G. 5G is to accept the resignation of Sean Yonchuk from Lower Saucon Water Authority and the Parks and Recreation Board. So,
Make
I make a motion to move to accept the resignation of Sean
Stop putting her feet on me.
and the Lower Saucon Water
Laura,
Authority
I
Parks
want
and
you to have
Recreation
Victoria
Board.
to stop putting her feet on me. I can't sit here if she's putting her feet on me. She's a freak.
I think for the
Something is
record,
wrong with her.
I think for the
Look at-
record,
look at- she's laughing
I'm
about it.
laughing
It's
because you
disgusting.
said I put my feet on you. I would never
You did
touch
put your
you,
feet
which
on
I
me. You
didn't.
did put your feet on me.
So,
You're disgusting.
for the record, you had Mr. Carochi and Mr. Banonis commenting on what my feet look like.
I did not.
So I said to Mr. Banonis and Mr. Carochi, and I think if you look at the video,
I
you'll
think
see.
we need to
I lifted my foot
our
on
agenda
Mr.
items.
Shut it down,
So,
Laura.
if
Let's
you
do our
comment
agenda
about my
items. I don't
feet,
care.
then
I don't
you're
care.
gonna get
I
to
don't
look at
care.
I don't want you putting your dirty feet on me right now.
I made a motion, can I have a second? I made a motion, can I have a second? Priscilla?
You really have
Okay.
control.
Can we have a roll call?
Oh, no, well, I have a comment. I have a comment on this. This Sean Yanchuk, when was he appointed, Jerry? To the Lower Saucon Water Authority and Parks and Recreation?
His original appointment on the Lower Saucon Water Authority was 1/1/2024. His appointment to the Parks and Recreation, which I believe is an annual appointment. The original was 1/1/2024, and the second one would have been at the reorganization meeting for 2025.
So he never attended a water authority meeting, correct about that?
No.
Okay. See, how many did he attend in 2024?
I don't have that.
Okay, what is
Okay,
this,
so-
right, we're accepting
so
a
not only-
resignation from the
so-
board because
so
he was unable to
They
attend.
appointed this guy 3 times, twice to Parks and Rec. The Democrats appointed him 3 times, twice to Parks and Rec, and once to the Water Authority Board. He never attends meetings.
He resigned.
Right. So
He never attended the meetings
he
either.
never attended the meetings.
And he
And
resigned.
he didn't resign on his own volition.
He did.
He didn't resign on his own volition. This agenda item, when it originally came out, called for us to vote to remove him. That was
Yeah, and
the
then he
original.
sent in a
That was the
resignation letter.
original.
So I think we
That
should
was
just
the
vote on the
original one.
resignation.
So the only reason they even have him removed, because they want people to vote the way they want, is because, he didn't show up, but it was Bill Ross that wanted him removed from the Water Authority for not showing up at the meeting, because it's tough to get a quorum sometimes. Again, this is another one, like Russ Sutton, this is another one of their buddies. They appointed 3 times and was never attending meetings, or attending very minimal meetings, I should say. And the Parks and Rec, so.
The guy resigned.
Yeah, right after he was prodded, by Bill
Roll
Ross.
call.
After he was prodded by Bill
Let's
Ross.
have a roll call.
Prodded by Bill Ross.
Mr. Banonis?
To accept his resignation?
Yeah.
Sure, if he doesn't want to serve, I mean, I wouldn't want to serve either with these freaks.
Ms. Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Carochi?
Yes.
Ms. De Leon?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, and I guess on the side, we need to post for some vacancy on boards, so.
Just pick somebody out of a hat, one of your buddies. You already picked somebody.
Okay.
We should put Russ Sutton on it. He
Item
follows all the
5H.
rules. Russ follows all the rules. He's put Russ
We're
on the water.
discussing Resolution 55, 2025, that's been prepared to adopt a participant-directed deferred compensation retirement plan for eligible employees. The plan will be administered by Engelbert Financial Advisors, LLC.
I'll make that motion.
Any comment?
I'm ready for roll call.
Yeah, I don't know that we need any comment. This just gives the employees another option, so I think that's good. Roll, just say, can we have a roll call?
Ms. Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Carochi?
Yes.
Ms. De Leon?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Banonis?
Before I vote, Jay, can you answer a question for me? Does Priscilla participate in the retirement plan? I mean, she's been with the township for over 30 years.
Did I what? I didn't hear what he said.
She doesn't participate in the plan,
It's just
right?
insults, just ignore it.
I would ask Ms. DeLeon to
You don't know.
answer that question.
I didn't hear what he said.
Participate in the township retirement plan, you've been with the township for 30 years.
I participate in what?
In this plan,
Retirement.
retirement plan.
No.
It's an answer he knows
I know that.
So
He knows
my,
that.
my,
I'm not
I don't
allowed
know,
to
you,
be.
you looked at me like you were confused.
Yeah, because you're wasting everybody's time
So
again.
I will
Yes.
vote, I will vote yes. I'm just making sure that this is not something that Priscilla's voting in her own favor.
Nobody's spoken more tonight than Victoria, so everybody's wasting time.
Okay, 5I is resolutions,
You're okay with the township?
resolutions 56, 2025 through 58, 2025 to authorize execution of commercial account agreements by council members. I'll make the motion to approve the resolutions 56, 2025, 57, 2025, 58, 2025 to update the commercial account agreements. The accounts are listed below.
I'll second that.
One signer.
Any,
Yeah, I'd like clarification.
Yeah.
Okay, if I could clarify some comments made earlier this evening.
By me.
Okay.
sure.
The township's policy is, which supersedes the resolution, it requires 2 signatures on any check issued. It's also a 3-step process. There is a segmentation of responsibility. The assistant finance director prepares the checks,
Yes.
reviewed by the finance director,
Yes.
and then 2 individuals sign it. The 2 individuals that sign do not have access to checks, hopefully allowing for a system that does not lead to any type of fraud activities.
Here.
It's been like that for
Yeah,
years.
it's nothing new.
Nothing
Except for
new.
fear mongers claiming, oh no, somebody's gonna steal your money. So then you all
Yeah.
like just wanna
Does
just
it-
follow the
Right,
leader.
can we
Because
do
it never happens in Hilltown. You're right, it never happens in
It's
Hilltown.
gonna fire them.
That's what it says.
Or fire companies. It never happens, really.
Calling people out that can't answer. That's what
Can
we
we
do.
do a roll call?
Mr. Carochi?
Shady.
No.
Ms. DeLeon?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Banonis?
You gotta love these people that ridicule the public for standing up and questioning whether there are checks and balances in place to protect the
You know the
taxpayer
checks and
money.
balances,
I didn't
you
bring it
just
up.
try to,
I didn't bring it up.
you
I didn't bring
claimed
it up.
that there's
I
only
didn't
one
bring it up.
signer, you agree
Here you
with
go.
them, you
I didn't bring it
laugh.
up. I didn't bring it up, some other public did, I did not bring it up.
You know
My
what the
answer is
rules
yes.
You don't bring
My
it
answer is
up.
yes, all right? My answer is yes.
Okay.
Ms. Altough Cordero?
Not that hard.
Motion passes 4-1.
5J is authorization for president to execute the lease agreement between Lower Saucon Township and the Lower Saucon Township Historical Society. I would make a motion to authorize the council president to execute the lease agreement between Lower Saucon Township and the Lower Saucon Township Historical Society with an expiration date of 12/31/2045.
Second.
2045. That's kind of long-term, isn't it?
I think that's what it was before, probably a 20-year agreement before.
Well, was it or wasn't it?
It was.
It was a 20-year agreement. Terms are all the same.
Price any different because the price of everything was up? Or was it free?
It's
$1.
$1, and council historically has waived utilities on an annual basis.
Right. Any other comment? If not, we'll do a roll call.
Ms. DeLeon?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Banonis?
Yes.
Ms. Altough Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Carochi?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
5K is the acceptance of proposal for professional architectural services from Phillips and Donovan Architects, LLC. Anne's not here to talk about these so much. Jay, do you want to talk about this topic? Because you probably helped review these, I believe.
Sure. The township, under Kathy Gorman, sent out a request for proposals for a professional agreement to design the addition to the Public Works garage. I believe I supplied council with 9 or 10 proposals a couple of weeks, or last week, I believe, which has been reviewed by myself and Ms. Rogers, the Public Works Director, and we determined that Phillips and Donovan's proposal was the most cost-effective as well as the one that would service the township the best in this. They have in the past performed other services for the township, so we were comfortable with having them continue designing the addition to the Public Works garage.
So I'll make the motion to authorize the acceptance of the proposal for the professional architectural services by Phillips and Donovan Architects, LLC, to design the Public Works Garage addition for approximately $68,762, as well as estimating services to be performed by Estimated Systems, LLC, in the amount of $5,865. Additionally, I further move to authorize the acting township manager to execute both agreements associated with this project. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, any discussion on this?
So are you just going to have beds for the Public Works employees to take rests?
I can't hear what you said.
Yeah, my question was, well, the design here, is this going to have a rest area for the Public Works employees? I know they like to take rests. There was a conversation several meetings ago about them having a no firehouse policy. And I'm wondering what sort of accommodations are going to be designed into this project.
Well, if you look through the agreements, you would see, yes, there is like a break area for them to do lunch and things like that, have their meetings, change.
I don't know if they're overnight beds. I think it was implying that there were people who were going to take naps. I don't know. The only comment I have is I'm happy. I'm happy to move this forward. I appreciate everything that Public Works does. I'm sorry that this took so long. I feel that this was a project that should have been moved forward years ago, and other projects were prioritized over this one for some reason I don't know. But they're one of the most important employees that we have, and take care of the essential services to our residents. And I feel like it should have been dealt with years ago. But I'm happy that we're moving forward with it now.
Okay, anything else?
No, I'm just glad it's moving forward myself too.
All right, can we have a roll call?
Ms. Wright?
Yes.
Mr. Banonis?
Yes.
Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Carochi?
Yes.
Ms. De Leon?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, 5L is to authorize execution of updated diligent corporation agreement.
I have a question. Why is this happening?
Board docs is no longer going to be a supported process. They are updating their platform. So for us to continue to do the design of meetings the way we do, Diligent, who is the owner of Board Docs, is setting up a different platform, and we need to update our agreement with them.
Okay, so what's going to, oh, I'm sorry.
Also, if you notice, there's an asterisk on this because between when this went initially on the agenda and now before you for approval and execution, their agreement contained a 6% an annual escalation charge, and I negotiated that down to 3% between when the documents were published on board docs and when it's now here for execution.
Okay, well, if we have to do this, we have to do this, but what's gonna happen to all the documents that are in board docs? Because I like
The
the,
PDFs, they won't go away.
I'm sorry?
They're PDFs, they won't go away.
Everything migrates over.
Oh, that, okay, you said it better than I did, because I thought I had to go in and save
That's not
everything,
hard.
but no, okay.
She's confused. She hasn't been in a public work environment, private public work environment in years. She's at her home with Cat.
Can we stop the insults and just ask questions really related to the agenda item?
Yes. Can I ask you a question? I recognize this vendor is affiliated with board docs. Have we looked at other options besides continuing the relationship with this parent company?
There is other options, but they are, based on my experience, more expensive and not as user-friendly.
So they're more expensive and less user-friendly?
Correct.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good job negotiating that down from 6% to 3%.
I joked with them, I should have asked for 2.
Yeah.
What up?
Next year.
Now we can pay Steve, now we can pay Steve's $25.
Or can I ask Jay a question?
Fees.
Jay, is there a way, like moving forward, because you said, this is an annual agreement, so can we just, for the future, kind of plan and perhaps negotiate so that we don't run into like a, automatic renewal with automatic jumps in costs next year? Is there a way for us to?
Well, the agreement includes the annual escalation.
Right, so
The
can we
negotiation,
renegotiate that? Like next year it's gonna be
She's an
up,
attorney, she doesn't
right?
understand.
So, no, next year it's gonna be up for renewal again, is it not?
Would be with the 3% increase.
With the 3% increase, so I'm saying when the time comes, can we negotiate that? Because there's also the
Sure.
30-day notice of cancellation, and we can use that opportunity to try and negotiate the terms, that's what I'm saying.
And if everything in life is negotiable.
Thank you. God forbid I try to save us money, some of you don't.
God forbid you don't have contracts.
All right, we had a second on that, correct?
God forbid you don't have contracts.
We had a second on the motion, correct?
I didn't hear the first or the second.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Good job. So,
All right, can we have a roll call?
Mr. Banonis?
Yes.
Ms. Saucon Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Carochi?
yes.
Ms. De Leon?
Yes?
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Yeah, just for the record, we have Mr. Banonis left, I don't know, it's now 9:46 PM.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Got the record there.
Um,
We'll do it up.
5M is authorization to advertise 2025-2026 Fire Services Executive Committee meeting dates. Dates were published to be August 7th, September 4th, October 2nd, November 6th, December 4th, and then January 8th into 2026. So I move that we authorize to advertise our Fire Services Executive Committee dates.
I second.
Can we have a roll call?
Ms. Saucon Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Carochi?
Yes.
Ms. De Leon?
Yes?
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0. Mr. Banonis absent.
With Jason absent?
Mr. Banonis absent.
She said it.
Okay, 5N is to award the bid for equipment and labor to provide tree cutting services. I'll make a motion to accept the bid in the amount of $7,065 from Snowscapes for tree cutting services through December 31st, 2026 until the funds are depleted.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Discussion for me.
No, I'm just looking at the different photos and text messages Mr. Carochi has done with different members of the audience or people watching on YouTube, because it's so important to be a YouTube, celebrity. That's what's going on over here.
Need a second.
Priscilla did a second.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Carochi?
Yes.
Ms. De Leon?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Ms. Atok Cordero?
Whoever's texting Mr. Carochi and Mr. Banonis on YouTube, it's disruptive. I vote yes.
Motion passes 4-0, Mr. Banonis absent.
All right.
I wasn't so distracted by the text messages, I would have known.
6A is approval of council meeting minutes from November 20th, 2024 through June 3rd, 2025. I would suggest we just do it as one big bundle unless somebody has something specific about any specific one of these.
I just have one suggestion, and to continue putting the agenda in front of the minutes like we've done forever. So they have to be added to each one. So it's easier to look stuff up.
Yeah, when I post to the website.
Okay, thank you.
I'll make sure.
I appreciate that.
Well, I mean, I think we should table this to let the public have more chance to read them. I think they're inaccurate in a lot of ways. And the public, when you only provide it to, when they provide it to them, on Monday or Friday, you have time for, how many months is this? 7, 8 months, 6 months?
Motion to approve
So,
all these,
they're inaccurate, and you're not giving the public enough time to read them and comment on them. That's disgraceful. But it's par for the course for this Democrat majority, we'll see the election.
And
Never
I heard a motion by Priscilla, second by Victoria. It looks like Stacy got that. Can we have a roll call?
Ms. De Leon?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Ms. Atok Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Carochi?
No, they're completely inaccurate.
Motion passes 3-1, Mr. Banonis absent.
Please pass on to the staff. Thank you for doing all this, because I know this was very time consuming, and I appreciate it, so thank you.
And I will say, in the future, if you're saying that they're completely inaccurate, you need to be specific about what's wrong with them specifically so they could be corrected.
Yeah, we lumped in the financial report, so I'd like to know what exactly he has a problem with.
No, we just did minutes.
It was the minutes.
I think you lumped in all three, A, B, and C.
No, you lumped in all the minutes, the 6 months of minutes. Pay attention. You're as lost as she is. She did all 6 meetings minutes, right? You didn't lump in the financial reports, correct? Can you explain to her?
No, we're not gonna argue about
She's
this.
not arguing about it, she doesn't know what she voted on. She just voted, she had no idea what she voted on. She just voted yes. She thought she was voting for the financial report. She has no idea what she voted on. She has
She's
no
gonna
idea.
vote yes for the financial report.
How do you know? She doesn't even know what she's voting for.
Okay, can you stop talking back? This is enough of your rude behavior. 6B is approval of the April 2025 financial reports. I make the motion to accept the April 2025 financial reports.
I'll
I have a second.
I'll second those.
Okay, can we have a roll call?
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Ms. Atok Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Carochi?
No.
Ms. De Leon?
Yes. And I'd like the record to reflect that Mr. Carochi looks like he's leaving the meeting at 9:52.
He wants to socialize with members of the public.
Motion passes 3-1.
You too.
Thank you. All right, so 6C is approval of the May 2025 financial reports. I'll make the motion that we approve these reports.
Second.
All right.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Ms. Atok Cordero?
Yes.
Mr. Carochi is absent. Ms. De Leon?
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0. Mr. Carochi and Mr. Banonis absent.
Okay, so now we're into council and staff reports. Jay, do you
Thank you.
have something?
I think this might be a repeat from the last meeting, but the pickleball courts are open. They are being extensively used, and again, which was the idea of two former council people, Jen Zawacki and Mark Ingalls. The new website is up and operational. We're going to make a public announcement on August 4th that it's up and running, but we wanted to work through some issues. In considering its extensive redesign and additional information and stuff, we've only received 2 calls and 2 or 3 emails about content or missing information, so I think the transition has actually been very successful. And I want to acknowledge Stacy and Carol, who did a phenomenal job in getting this to the finish line in the last couple of months. And relative to the website, I just want to clarify one thing. The lack of individuals' email addresses on the website is actually now a new standard recommended by IT companies to reduce phishing. If you don't publicize it, someone can't remember the email address. But what it does, this website, it would directs an email on a comment page for each members of the council and staff, so that email is directed, or that information is directed to the individual who is highlighted on the new website.
Thank you for that information. Too bad Jason and Tom aren't here to hear that, so they can, you were mocking us before.
Jay, just so I'm, like, did any member of council ask you to remove our email addresses from the public's, the public website?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, and I think I in fact noticed it and emailed you and asked you why my email address wasn't there anymore, or that other email addresses for other staff members weren't visible. And so I think that it's important for the public to understand that this was something that was recommended to us by the professionals, and would not be in the best interest of the township for me to go against that. But I will say, like, certain places where you have just the phone number listed, like the homepage, you could put in like that contact portal for them to submit a question there, and it would give them two ways maybe to submit a question without just calling. Like on some pages, you just have the phone number without a way to email.
So a general email maybe? Like
Yeah,
a general email
yeah.
to a couple other pages?
Yeah, and then like with the zoning page, I think we list Molly's name, but not Mitch's. But then later in a different page, there's Molly and Mitch. So maybe we could just double check the consistency. But I think you guys did a great job, and thank you so much.
That's a good idea, because I thought that too, but I never sent the email to her.
I participated in the scoping meeting with the developer's traffic engineer, township engineer, traffic engineer, PennDOT, relative to the St. Luke's project on Lightsville Road. Again, by the time they get through all their permitting and their highway occupancy stuff, they still are targeting the spring of 2027 to open. In conjunction with the township engineer and solicitor, we're working on a data center ordinance. That seems to be a very hot button in a lot of communities, one that needs attention, and is right now in the drafting stage. National Night Out.
What do you mean? I'm sorry, Jay. What do you mean by like a data center?
What the requirements would be for a organization to develop and build a data center within the township.
Okay. So we're looking into what that would mean for us, or?
Well, right now, it would kind of be a free-for-all, because we don't regulate it in any form, shape, or manner. So to get the requirements on setbacks, dimensional standards, height, all that stuff into our ordinance, we need to develop an ordinance. It's not currently in the ordinance.
plus determine where we would place
We
them.
can place it, what zoning district and stuff.
Oh, you're talking about adding data center to
Yeah.
some one of our zoning districts. Okay, now I thought you were talking about like something. For our
It's a
data.
new and coming thing, and PSATS has been pushing a lot on that topic.
National Night Out, no, I said this. National Night Out is Tuesday, August 5th, 5 to 8 here at Town Hall Park. Movies in the Park, the first event was successful. We have 2 upcoming ones on this Friday night at Steel City Park, which is Disney Monsters, and August 15th at Town Hall Park, which is Disney Mufasa. And they both start at 7:30 p.m. As mentioned earlier, now we have 2 openings on the authority and 1 on Parks and Recreation. That has been, or will be in the process of being advertised. The landfill committee meetings tomorrow at 2 p.m. in this room. As mentioned earlier on the, when Attorney Durso was here, they have withdrawn from the July zoning hearing board with no other applicants. We will not have a meeting because there are no other applicants submitted. And I want to take responsibility. When we did the draft of the agenda, the drafts all had the approval of the April 2025 financial reports in it, and when I edited the final version, they were inadvertently deleted, and seeing that one was from April and one from May, I thought it was appropriate to get the financial reports of the township out as we transition from one finance director to the through to the next. I believe that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Priscilla, we'll start down at your
Yes, I
end.
have a couple things. Well, first of all, I like to just always say that don't believe everything you hear at these meetings because they're not necessarily all true. So take that with a grain of salt. Flooding, I guess, was there terrible flooding like on Monday night? I know one road, Friedensville Road, was impassable at some point. I didn't know if any other roads were. But,
There were a couple of others, but it quickly received.
okay, and I'm going to read a pension report. Too bad Jason's not here. Lower Saucon Township 2025 pension plans, updated actuarial valuation summary as of January 1st, 2025. And this report was prepared by Municipal Finance Partners, Inc., presented at the July 15th meeting on Tuesday? Was our pension meeting? Tuesday. Lower Saucon Township continues to manage its pension responsibilities with diligence and transparency. The police pension plan remains in strong financial health with $11.48 million in actuarial assets and $10.75 million in liabilities, indicating a surplus. The non-uniform plan is stable as well, with $3.6 million in assets and $3.84 million in liabilities, reflecting a modest shortfall. Revised actuarial assumptions, such as lower than expected salary increases and postponed retirements, led to an updated 2025 minimum municipal obligations, or MMO, for the period. For the police plan, the MMO rose from $360,304 to $405,409, an increase of roughly $45,000. The non-uniform plan's MMO increased from $130,461 to $172,720, up by over $42,000. These contributions are covered through a combination of municipal funding, employee payments, and anticipated state aid, estimated at approximately $358,618 township-wide. Investment returns ranging from over plus 13% to nearly minus 13% in recent years continue to impact pension stability. These fluctuations are moderate through actuarial smoothing and amortization techniques, helping to ensure consistency in future finance planning. Consultant actuary Charles Friedlander emphasized the principle of intergenerational equity, ensuring today's taxpayers fund today's services, including pensions. His report affirms that the township is meeting its pension obligations prudently and transparently, preserving both fiscal integrity and public trust. I think it's important to state that. The summary is both pension plans are responsibly managed with forward-looking funding strategies that safeguard taxpayers' interests while honoring commitments to township employees. And then we'll comment on the Lower Saucon Township Retirement Fund update. I would like to share some positive news about the township's retirement fund, which is part of the Pennsylvania State Association of Boroughs Municipal Retirement Trust. This fund supports the long-term financial health of retirement benefits for our dedicated township employees. As of June 30th, 2025, Lower Saucon Township's pension investments managed through PSAB Trust Joe Scott and advised by John Joles, Morgan Stanley Greystone Consulting, stood at approximately $412.7 million, a reflection of steady growth and fiscal discipline. Over the past 12 months, the balance managed account yielded an 11.73% return, outperforming the median for similar Pennsylvania municipalities, which came in at 11.10%. Mid-year performance year-to-date through second quarter was also robust at 6.57%. The township's investment strategy remains diversified and risk-conscious, with allocations spanning domestic equities 45.1%, international equities 16.0%, fixed income 30.5%, alternative investments 6.8%, such as real estate and infrastructure, and cash holdings 1.6%. Notable gains were observed in technology, plus 23.7%, industrials, plus 12.9%, and consumer discretionary, plus 11.5 sectors. These areas were further bolstered by the performance of the so-called Magnificent Seven stock, including Apple, Amazon, Meta, and Tesla, which together contributed 21% of the S&P 500's total returns year-to-date. On the fixed income side, portfolios maintained positive returns despite an elevated treasury yield curve and a high interest rate environment. The Bloomberg aggregate bond index posted a year-to-date return of plus 4.10%, showing resilience and stability. From an economic perspective, U.S. GDP growth moderated slightly in the first quarter of 2025, reflecting a minus 0.5% quarter-over-quarter change, while year-over-year growth held steady at 2%. These are these experts talking. Inflation continued to ease. Headline CPI measured a 2.4%, driven primarily by shelter and food costs. Unemployment remained low at 4.2%, with wage growth holding firm at 4.0%, contributing to sustained consumer strength. These financial and economic indicators affirm Lower Saucon's commitment to responsible fiscal management and integrity in stewarding public resources. They underscore the benefits of a well-balanced investment portfolio and proactive oversight aligned with long-term stability, prudent decision-making, and continued transparency, ensuring a secure future for our employees, which I think is very important. We'll continue to monitor and report on the fund progress to keep the community informed. And that's my report from the pension committee. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, Victoria?
Thank you. Since our last meeting, we did have another rail trail meeting. Everybody should come out and take a look at our native plant garden that's on the rail trail in Lower Saucon. There's lots of great things happening with that, and stay tuned because we're hopeful to have a butterfly release event there. There's lots of usage on the rail trail, and there's also been
a renewed informational diagram, I guess I would say, about proper usage of different motorized vehicles. If you are riding like a moped or a motorbike, those aren't allowed on the rail trail. If you're if you're operating a bicycle or an e-bike, there are certain limits to how fast the e-bike can go on a rail trail. So just be careful about that, because a lot of times it's disruptive to people walking their dogs or people that aren't moving at the same rate of speed as those with e-bikes or any other motorized vehicle. There's also, I know people are concerned about things falling from the trees or issues like that, since we have a lot of dead ash tree. The rail trail has been on top of that and been working with the different municipalities if it is a municipal property to try and resolve the issue. We also did identify, and thank you Jay and the Public Works Department for identifying some old utility poles that needed to be taken care of on the rail trail. So that's the other thing that happened. There is no July rail trail meeting. I did briefly discuss during the meeting what we talked about at the Water Authority. They are in the middle of their pumping station construction project. It is moving forward as planned, and we are hopeful to have the Act 537 plan finished in time, because we know there are a number of residents that live over near the Giant that would benefit from hooking up to that pumping station once it becomes online. That would be in conjunction with our Act 537 plan. There is a landfill meeting tomorrow, so I encourage everybody to come out and share concerns or other issues that they may have, or if they want to promote something, they're also welcome to do that. I think that's pretty much it. I do want to say, the last thing I want to say is to thank our fire, public works, and police for all the work they've been doing in the hot summer, especially with now the weather events being like flash flood events, and what we've seen in Texas. I know it's like making everybody scared here too, and I just want to thank them for putting themselves out there and protecting our residents and keeping our roads safe. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Victoria. I have a question for Jade too, if you can hear me. She mentioned about the poles on the rail trail that need to be removed, the old poles.
Correct.
Okay, if there's any artifacts, like different, I don't know, things embedded in the poles, like from the railroad, you know, when the rail trail first started, we were trying to save like the old railroad bed, you know, and you know, save different, I don't know what to call them, different like objects along the rail trail that operated the trains, you know, back then or something. So if there's any like little letters or, you know what I'm saying, like different things, if they can save them before they dispose of the poles, and maybe they can donate them to the Lower Saucon Historical Society for.
Sure, I'll have
And they may not be anything on them, I don't know, but I'm just thinking. Thank you.
All right. I will give my report. So just so everybody knows, even though you didn't see us here at council, doesn't mean that we're doing nothing in between, because we are plenty busy. So after our last council meeting, we had our regular Lower Saucon Fire Rescue Fire Services Group meeting. That was on June 5th. We were getting ready and trying to organize for starting up our official executive committee. So the first meeting of that, as we went through tonight, is going to be on August 7th. So that is going to be here at Town Hall. We met with Lori Ahmet and Associates regarding the Heller Homestead Park plans on June the 16th. They took feedback from us, and we'll be meeting with them again. I don't remember the exact date.
July 31st, thank you. I forgot about that.
Okay. We also met with the Historic Committee on June the 16th. We're working on different ideas to make more information about different historic areas in our township. Our next meeting for that will be July 21st. We meet via Zoom. It's a small group. The EAC has a small little subcommittee, so we met to discuss our bylaws on June the 19th. We're working on trying to rewrite them to make them a little easier to understand. So hopefully we can get them over to Steve soon for him to have a look and see how we want to update them. On July the 2nd, I did a PSATS webinar on fire services, ISO, public protection classification, and BSEGS, which is building code effectiveness and grading schedule. So that are all things that affect how your fire companies get rated, which affect how your insurance, how they determine rates for different areas. So it was good information. I also, let's see, on July 8th, the EAC had their regular meeting. We are looking to put together a survey for residents to take regarding opinions on doing a plastic bag ban in the township. Many of the neighboring states have the bans for the whole state. So New Jersey, Delaware, New York, they have it for the whole state. And there's about 40 different municipalities within Pennsylvania that have it. So we wanted some feedback. July 9th, I did a different PSATS webinar on tiny homes and doing regulations for them, since I don't think we have that addressed at all in our ordinances either, so I would like to take a look at that. And that is all I have. And let's see, Steve, do you have a report?
I do not.
Brian left.
We do have a planning commission meeting. Sometimes they've been canceled for lack of business. But we do have one coming up this month, and I believe it is moving forward. So if you're interested in planning, that's next Thursday.
Yes. All right, so now we're up to public comment on either agenda or non-agenda, whichever. Do we have anybody for public comment?
Anne-Marie Slavic, Lower Saucon Township. Black River flooded this week, so all along Black River Road was flooded, and people's properties got flooded all the way down to Bingen, and then down Bingen to Hellertown. So if I were you, I mean, maybe I could join the EAC. I think that the EAC needs to focus on real problems, like real problems. There are real environmental issues here. And the question is, I think someone was talking about a group coming in and doing some health of the streams here. But eventually, if we have too much flooding, we're gonna erode the stream beds and the roads that are there. So I think that maybe real environmental problems that are going to come up with all this flooding maybe should be addressed. I'm completely against plastic bag bans. For the township to tell a company that does business here what they can and can't give out as far as bags is ridiculous. It's absurd. As far as I can tell, just listening to some of the EAC meetings and agenda items, it's just, you guys are on a national level of like, trying to emulate the national environmentalist movement, which is partly fear-mongering and nonsense. Do something real for the area. If they put that apartment building there, it's gonna just be the runoff that came down 378 the day of that storm was crazy, off the mountain. It's coming off the mountain, it's coming down Ellis Drive, it's coming like it was coming like a river. So there are things that we could discuss that maybe, putting solar panels up, what is it, 0.0005% of the electricity it's gonna generate, allowing people to cut trees down and you guys ignore it, blatantly ignore it, and then act like, there's no problem here, we don't understand what the problem, why we have a problem with this, why is everybody upset about this? And then there are people along Black River Road and Bingen that had their properties damaged from this flood. So really, let's concentrate on things that we can maybe really fix or something that we could do here instead of nonsense.
Hey, anybody else?
You can speak? No? Dave Goulan. Let's see here, a couple of things. I wanted to do a rating on what I saw tonight, which wasn't always pretty, but there were some really standout things. And one of the standouts is at the end of this dais here. His name is Jay Finnegan. And all I can say is kudos to you for not only getting the rate down to 3%, but getting the web pages up and running and doing it sharply. And yes, I was one that called in with a question. Immediate response from this man, knew exactly what he was talking about, got it right away. So, what else did he do? Just so many things. The pickleball court, giving credit to other people. He was there, he paid attention to it, he does all the right things. Got the minutes out. 6 council meetings worth of minutes. Didn't talk about it, didn't ballyhoo, didn't go like some of the council members, gee, can you write some minutes up for me if I ask you? All right, you just got it done for the public. The Fulton Bank clarity, wonderful. Unfortunately, it'd be really nice if we could have those kinds of things included in the, maybe an additional comment, because to me, when I read the Fulton Bank, it said, any one of the following can sign. Well, did it say others need to sign on the Fulton Bank agreement? And by the way, there were 2 Fulton, I think 2 of them. And that gets a little goofy too. One of the things I do ask is if you change the agenda, please highlight what it's changing, what you're picking up or dropping, okay? That's really helpful. I'm really shocked that we didn't go over the financials though. That's important, at least it is to me. It keeps people honest, and so far Lower Saucon has been a very honest township. What I find disturbing is the Russ Sutton issue and the way it's bad, and you need to clean it up. I'm talking to the council, not Jay, or the attorney. He does other good things. So that's the top of the heap, that's the A+. The bottom of the heap is an F- for Laura Ray running the meeting like it's just not even existent. She could be somewhere else. We have people, especially one council member, who just pops off whenever she wants and just keeps on going and makes the meeting, then turns it into a diatribe against everybody. Not a good thing, okay? Especially when that same person offered some special agreements for people to sign about integrity, honesty, and the like. That's my comment. And I'm going home. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, you are? I knew it.
Diane Hollowell. I wasn't going to speak, but, and it's been a while, I'm sorry, but when I'm down at Giant, people come up to me and tell me, why are you speaking, at those clown shows anymore? And I retired now, so I can stay here late. And I'm thinking about what these policemen here, in a store when someone has to stand long, maybe you can get them mats that they can stand on. Anyway, okay, so I was at home watching this meeting, and they kept bringing up Mr. Gazouzian's fee of $220. How much were we paying Treadwell? Am I allowed to ask that?
Sure.
I'm sure it was more than
Can you answer? I think it's the same rate.
Same rate.
It's the same rate.
And I heard that, it's a shame what happened down in Philly with all that trash. Does anyone know if any of that trash is going to be coming up to our landfill? Is that a question too? And let me say, I have a whole bunch here. Victoria, if you do feel that you are threatened by Mr. Carochi, please do what I did. I had to fill a police report out in Lower Saucon here against Mr. Banonis for things like, you will never know what hit you, heed my warning, I will roll over you like you've never seen before, trust me, I'm warning you now, that's my last warning. So please, make sure it's documented. And people tell me that, I'm scared to go to these meetings because he always wants to sue everyone. Just document everything. I have it all there, the times in the minutes. And I do have to say, I did make them famous in California. I have a friend who works at the state Supreme Court in San Francisco and showed him videos of these meetings. And they are in shock that these men are actually lawyers, and they could not believe that they would not be barred after saying things like to fellow council members like, shut your ignorant mouth, you freak, you rude person, you disgusting pig. Like, he's upset. Like, did he hear what Jason said? So thank you, ladies, for putting up with all that crap. It's very obvious to the taxpayers out there that they make this into a cat clown show and they love disruption. And thank you for the pickleball courts. That's awesome. All ages and all sexes of taxpayers can play there. Not like our, $3+ million ball field. That's only boys and of a certain age. So thank you very much for that. And the new website, I was on that today. Thank you for working on that. It's awesome. And you're doing an awesome job. And I don't understand why these guys are leaving the meetings. All right, thank you.
Because they have jobs. Imagine that. They have jobs.
Yeah, I have a job too. They have jobs too.
Okay.
I just want to, just because I know I did say on the record for the police to note the aggressive pushing of the chair. I do want to note, in addition, because it has to be a report now, that I was given the middle finger twice by Mr. Banonis in an aggressive manner, and I find that to be extremely harassing. And I don't think that a middle finger belongs anywhere on the dais, but certainly not between council people.
Are you coming up for the last word? Yes.
You only want to put my name in the paper. Now you'll know who I am.
It's just for spelling purposes, but thank you.
Go ahead.
So, reflection to Anne Marie Slovak, who wanted to complain about the flooding in the EAC and that the EAC should review stuff and actually maybe try and do something about it. Maybe she should have been here 20 years ago when the Planning Commission and the Zoning Board and the other people, and Banonis for one of them, approved buildings, streets, and whatever else went on in this township before I came to meetings. I don't see what the EAC is going to do about fixing flooding. And as far as Banonis goes, I guess I was told don't take the bait. Just leave him alone. He was a piece of crap when he came in, he'll be a piece of crap when he leaves. And he won't change. And as far as the current council, don't become Hitler. It's really up to the people in the stores whether they want to use plastic bags or not. To start banning people to things, this is just wrong. I live in America, I'm an American. I want to use a plastic bag, I use a plastic bag. You know what I mean? If you ban plastic bags, what are you going to do? Then have Mr. Officer come arrest me because they took a plastic bag to a store? Or the store gave me a plastic bag so I could leave with my groceries? There's other things to worry about in this township. All I was going to do is sit through one of these meetings. As far as the website, I don't remember being briefed on it, but I guess I did a pretty good job. My wife worked out some bugs because I couldn't get in board docs our program blocked me. And I showed you the picture last week, or a month and a half ago at the last meeting, when, on my thing, when I tried the thing.
Yes,
I was gonna send it to these
there
two.
was a reason for that, I looked into that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you can ask the meeting, after the meeting.
Okay. Yeah, I was curious. But I didn't try it at home. I had other, you know, I got a life at home and things to do. So, was I happy with Russell's actions and what he did with the trees? Absolutely not. It's one thing to be honest, it's another thing to be two-faced. Don't be a hypocrite in life. If you want to curse, curse. If you want to go to church, go to church. And don't be a liar. And don't commit perjury in front of a judge and corrupt the district attorney in the Northampton County Courthouse. And let again try and put me in jail again. Y'all have a nice night.
All right, thank everybody that was here spoke. So the time is 10:29. I'm going to move to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Just adjourn, period. Need a vote.
My first read of that came from when it came out years ago. It's probably a neat one too.
Have a good night.
Don't shake your hand.
Mark, that was, I had asked about that. That message was because you were on our guest Wi-Fi, and you get a message to let you know that you're on the guest Wi-Fi. I asked Sandra, I think that was. I remember you said,
I never sent it to you.
but I remember what it looked like.
I was going to send you the picture.
Yeah, but I remember.
And I never sent it to you.
And you know,
then I was going to look for it yesterday, the day before, and send it there. And I
I'm
didn't
almost
send it.
positive because you clicked on something and then you got a pop-up message, right? And I think it was about you being, it was because you're on an unsecure network, because you're on a public Wi-Fi. You can try and repeat it. I'm pretty sure that's what it was though.
I was trying to use the Apple computer to get on
Yes.
board.
Yeah, but I think because you were on public Wi-Fi. If you want to try and repeat it again, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I don't think it was. Did I take a picture of it or something?
No, I took it, I was going to send it to you, and I never did.
Yeah, but I don't know. I remembered what it was. And I wonder if like we had a meeting here and somebody was on it and it happened. But I mean, like I said, if you want to bring it in, we can try it again. But I'm pretty sure that's what it was, that you were on our public Wi-Fi.
No, I don't know if I'll make the, I don't know if I'll make a landfill meeting tomorrow.
Because that topic's been mentioned a lot in the data centers.
No, the data centers, yeah. That was Jason's idea.
Oh.
That's
Yeah, tiny homes, well, I'm sure Keith has that. Well, I went to the session during the conference, and then they did this, they repeated it again, and I picked up a couple more things that they said, how you can monitor it, and
I think that's what my kids are
Tiny home?
tiny homes, yeah.
As long as it's nice.
I mean,
All right, good night.
All right, see you. Good night.
Good night, everyone.